Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everyone. I'm going to quickly check my microphone, but I'm going to be quick because YouTube said they don't like that. YouTube also said to stop talking in the beginning and to get straight into the topic and to not do intro topics and people click off when they click on my video for one topic, but then we do a second topic, or they click off if I'm talking to the audience. So they just gonna have to click off. But I'm gonna keep some chapters. That's what I'm gonna do. So that's what we'll do. We'll get some chapters for the people watching post-mortem. So today we're going to be talking about voice memo guy once again. Welcome to anyone coming in. Be sure to leave a like on your way in. But voice memo guy is kind of annoying me lately because I feel like the discourse should actually not be going on this long. Like I actually feel like there is not a lot to talk about. Like, if I'm being quite honest, I feel like this is pretty cut and dry. So, I want to pause and say before we get to voice memo guy, estranged parents is coming up next, but this warranted attention. So I will leave the first one up, and then when the next one, when we're ready to do the next one, I'll make that one members only. But I'll keep it up for now since like we didn't do the follow-up estranged parent stream that we were supposed to. Yeah. Welcome also, everyone. But yeah, voice memo guy is absolutely insane. And when I refer to voice memo guy, I don't just mean the guy from the voice memo, but I mean like the discourse as a general matter. So when I say voice memo guy, just know I'm referring to all of the TikToks that people are making about it, talking about it, stitching, duet, all that. With that being said, let's get to our warm-up topic. So have you guys heard about this woman gave up her child for adoption? No, not gave up for adoption, donated her eggs. Let me pull it up. This is gonna be a quick intro. Quick promise. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on screen and we can read it. But welcome everyone coming in, by the way. We didn't get swallowed up yet. Should we do an intro for the intro topic? I feel like we should save it for after, for when we get into the main one. So I'll make this quick. Okay, so this woman posted, and she said that a child from her donated eggs contacted her.
Okay, for context, I donated my eggs when I was around 19, 20 years old. I'm like 37 now. And so, yeah, I've received a message from this young lady stating that she would like to do a DNA test and build a relationship as my daughter. And I think it's pretty creepy because not only is egg donation supposed to be anonymous, I'm not your mom. You know, I can see if I had this baby and I put her up for adoption, but that's not what I did. I sold my eggs, I signed my rights away, I got my check, and I went on about my life. Why the hell are you contacting me right now? I'm so confused because I'm not your mom. Your mom literally birthed you, she carried you. She just so happened to use my egg. But that's your mom. That is the connection that you have. You heard her heartbeat. You laid on her chest. She raised you. And I really think it's weird for the mom to even mention that because it's like, girl, you had the baby. Why are you mentioning me? So I messaged her back finally because it took me some time to, think it over. And I'm just like, I'm going to be very direct with you. Like, it's a breach of privacy. I signed my parents' rights away years ago. Like, I'm not your mom. And I would really appreciate if she did not contact me. I did block her. I did, block her name and stuff out, to protect her privacy. But yeah, I don't know, this is weird. I don't know, kind of conflicted. because it's crazy. She looks like me. Like, that's the crazy part. It's not that crazy because duh, DNA, but it's just like, ugh, don't contact me. You know, like, am I tripping? Maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay, I'll read the message too. So the donated eggs, I mean the child says, hey, so I don't mean to be a bother, but I think you may be, well, let's pause right here. It is at this point where I feel like this is inappropriate way to begin a sentence, because I feel like we're about to find out that has my man been talking to you? Have you been talking to a man? Hey, this is gonna sound crazy, but if you've been talking to someone named XYZ, he's actually married to me, blah blah blah. That's what I was getting. So I just think it's inappropriate to start a sentence like that as a general matter. Has nothing to do with the egg being donated. Hey, so don't mean to be a bother, but I think you may be my biological mom. My mom revealed this info to me. That's a problem. And was wondering if you wanted to do a DNA test and possibly, DNA test and possibly get to know me and build a relationship as your daughter. I think I look so much like you. I've always felt empty and disconnected from my mom and didn't know why. Oh, that's not why you felt disconnected from your mom. That's not why. It ain't got nothing, in my opinion, it ain't got nothing to do with being a biological mom or not. So I was confused about the DNA test part, but maybe, and I would find this to be incredibly inappropriate as well. Maybe I'm assuming because this woman wanted to remain anonymous, that it might be difficult to find her information. So, because my whole thing is like, wait, you need to do a DNA test. This is like, for what purpose? Is there any other reason for a DNA test besides like establishing paternity or ancestry or finding out if you have shared DNA or something like that? So that's why it didn't make sense to me, because unless there's something else that I'm missing, why would you need a DNA test to know that the person who donated their egg, which you are and have become a child now, are related to them? However, if it is in fact anonymous to the point where they cannot find this person directly and they have to like use other like investigative means, since they can't like legally get the information from the donor company or whatever, then that makes sense. Like, I'm reaching out to you because I think you might be my mom and wanted to do a DNA test. Like, yeah, she did say, I think you may be my biological mom. So I'm going to assume she cannot get the information directly because she's anonymous, and that would be a major breach of trust and medical anonymity. But she went and looked up and tried to put the square in the square hole and like figured out some stuff. I find that incredibly creepy, actually. I watched this video earlier today. She made a follow-up I didn't watch, but we'll look at it. And when I was watching it earlier, it completely like did not register to me that you would have to really dig to find this person. So, and then like I guess the DNA test to confirm that this is actually the person. I find that incredibly unusual, actually. I did not catch that earlier today. That's wild. Like, this feels almost like stalking and then finding somebody and then testing them. Nope, on to the next one. Like, that's actually unusual. No, just me. Okay, let me see. Because one of y'all said it was me. Baby barked up the wrong tree. Where is it? Wait, an unkind response from the lady in the voicemail or from the child? I didn't find her response unkind, especially given like now that I realize you would have to like really dig for this information that someone specifically did not want you to find, and you have no legal like right to it or way to access it, so you have to like do investigative work privately to do that. Like, this is like an intentional violation of trust. This isn't like curiosity and I called the donor company to like see who's my mom. This feels like a lot. Thank you, Villainous Crone, for 350 gems. Finger heart. I have no idea what gems are, but thank you. But I actually have no idea. Like, I don't know if that's money. I don't know if that's like YouTube currency for a YouTube algorithm. I have been gone for too long. I have absolutely no idea what a gem is, but I'm gonna assume you just gave me $350. I think a gem is $1. That's what I've decided, and I'm not gonna check the bank account. I'm gonna just pretend it's $1. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Okay, it was an unkind response from the lady. If I intentionally don't want somebody to contact me and they do, I'm gonna be unkind too. I don't find it unkind in this context because I specifically do not want you to reach out. So I think that essentially for anyone joining, a child from an egg donor reached out to the biological egg donor, I guess not, yeah, biological mom. And the mom, people are saying, is responding rudely, and now divide occurs. This is similar to a discourse from a couple months ago, if you guys remember, where, and this happens every few months, but it was like adoption or something like that. A mom gave her child up for adoption at birth or something. And if I remember correctly, the child came directly to their doorstep, maybe it was, for some reason, like curiosity or wanting answers or wanting to build a relationship. And the bio mom like turned them away or wasn't interested in building a relationship or something like to that effect and turned the child away. And the same discourse happened then. And I think the most common positions online are like that the child is not entitled to access, but the response is mean. I think that's something that people think commonly. The second one was that the child dodged a red flag, which is, I believe, a judgment of the mom's message, which people are viewing poorly. I disagree because I believe requesting anonymity just for that request to be violated and being expected to remain like polite and unbothered and completely understanding seems unreasonable to me. And I believe frustration is warranted and understandable. Like an individual who both understands why the child would want to reach out despite like violating anonymity, but simultaneously does not like understand why the parent would respond poorly and have sympathy for that. After that request was violated, seemed like an unusual dichotomy to have, but people do have it. And even if the child did dodge a bullet, that should be a good thing because the mom decided she didn't want children nor to be involved with them. So she did, in fact, make the right decision. But I don't like that it's framed negatively instead of positively. And I don't think the child dodged the bullet. The bullet dodged the child. In fact, the bullet did dodge the child, and then the child grew up, and then waited until adulthood, and then went and found the bullet and jumped in front of it, or tried to. The bullet dodged again. The ads are on. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, ads are supposed to be off generally for the live streams. Okay, I turned off ads. If you're getting ads, just refresh the page or X out and come back. And it should make the ads go away, but I do apologize. Thank you for the super chat production inquiry. Unfortunately, you cannot skip me reading the super chats. These are in fact like unskippable ads. Were they reaching out to tell the egg donor that they didn't ask to be born? Let me see. I don't know if this is a real question, but I'm gonna tell you exactly why they reached out. Hey, so I don't mean to be a bother, but I think you may be my biological mom. My mom revealed this info to me, and I was wondering if you wanted to do a DNA test and possibly get to know me and build a relationship as your daughter. I think I look so much like you. I always felt empty and disconnected from my mom and didn't know why. That's why she reached out, production inquiry. Thank you for the $5. I do appreciate it. Villainous Crone did send $350 earlier. Don't know what gems are, assuming they're dollars. But $5 helps just as much, in my opinion. Just as much. So I do appreciate it. Who's arguing in the chat? I'm putting the link because I wasn't expecting people to be not on the mom's side. Like I didn't really have any critique of the mom's behavior here. But so to clarify, a mom, or I guess a woman, since she's not the mom, who feels like unfit or uninterested in being a mother, choosing not to be a mother, I don't think should be framed as like the child dodging a bullet just because like she's frustrated that somebody reached out to her. So I've also heard the claim that the child has a right to their medical history. And to my understanding, prior to donating eggs, the egg donor is like screened quite extensively for like medical condition, has their medical history verified. So it feels like there's no reason to reach out to the bio mom for medical info, because in my mind, like my limited understanding of egg donation, that person's medical info has already been documented and to not have like said issues. But even if she did, this information I believe would be available through the donor organization directly, right? It feels like this would be unnecessary to reach out to the mom in this case, because you can reach directly to them for genetic info. And I'm not saying that's what this child wants, but I am saying that a lot of the discourse around this topic has to do with, well, some people, we don't know if she has medical info, she's entitled to that medical info. I don't believe that. I believe that's an excuse. And then they can reach out to my knowledge, the donor company can't legally give information from a donor who specifically requested an anonymous donation, but they can reach out and ask them questions on your behalf if you have them. But this doesn't make it necessary that the mom actually respond if she doesn't feel like she's compelled to do so. This, I believe, would be less intrusive, less invasive, and less violating than like the person who you specifically requested no contact with somehow finding your personal information to contact you. And besides that, like I don't actually think you have a right to the mom's medical history. But I think that's a sham. I think we need to stop pretending these children are reaching out for medical history, because this child said nothing about medical history at all. These children are reaching out as a general matter, not just in this situation, but the adoption situation too, that happens like every 3 months, where a woman donates eggs, or was a what's it called when you carry a pregnancy? What's it called? Help me. Help. What is it called? Surrogacy. Surrogacy or adoption. Like this discourse happens every 3 months, where a mom did not want a child. Thank you, production. Even though like y'all aren't late to get it, actually, there's probably just a lag. Gestational carrier. I mean, that's apparently gestational carrier, surrogacy, all that. Every 3 months, we have a discourse about a woman who does not want children, did not want children, gave up her children, don't want a part of any children life. And then we start pretending like, but what about if the child is reaching out for medical history? I think the children are reaching out specifically because of curiosity or questions they have, or desire for a personal relationship or something to that effect. And I think it's like naive, maybe, if I'm being good faith, or disingenuous, like at worst, to suggest that the reason the child is reaching out and saying, I've always wanted to know you and talk to you and connect with you, is because they just like want to see about some medical history and see how much of a chance they have of developing like sickle cell. Again, they can get it from the donor center. And if they can't, they can like request the donor center reach out on their behalf. So I think someone, I can't find the comment, but someone like jokingly said something like, people are okay when you like look up your ancestry and they think that's really cool. But when you want to get information from your biological mom, you're all of a sudden you're violating their consent. I find this critique unusual. I wish I had have saved the comment because the replies were just as crazy. I feel like your great grandmother, like, did she request to have no relationship with you and never be contacted by you, and that she doesn't want a relationship with you or anything like that? Probably not. So it feels unusual for people to compare the concept of someone requesting someone who, okay, someone requesting that you never contact them and that she doesn't want a relationship with you. And she specifically answers the question to the donor company, no, I don't want to make my information available to that person for them to reach out to me at any point in their life or mine. Don't want a relationship with them at any point, nor do I want them to contact me ever. I want to remain anonymous. And you choose to go and scour for their information anyway and locate them and find out their number and reach out to them. And you feel like this is similar to like, oh, it's the same as looking up your family tree. I don't know what to tell you. I actually don't know what to tell you. I do believe in handling people with care, actually, but I'm also like, and I don't know how old the child is. Like, to be fair, maybe the child is a child, but I'm completely 100% on board with being unhinged when like you go no contact and somebody circumvent that. Like, it feels like you're violating somebody who specifically requested from you specifically not to be contacted by or your information known to this person. Like, it would be different if you went and asked like the egg donor company or whatever, hey, can I get this information? I'm interested in contacting them. And the person who donated the eggs, knowing that that it was possible you'd reach out, chose not to remain anonymous. Like, I can see that, but what do you, when someone tells you straight up, no, I don't want to, no, she doesn't want to, no, her information's not available, she chose to remain anonymous and did not want to her information available to you, and then you just like, okay, I don't care. I can't, like, it's hard for me to feel sympathy. um like, I'm trying to imagine if I was like in the witness protection program and my information is supposed to be unfindable. There's no reason for anyone to know my info. There's okay, so I'm trying to imagine this, and then not only does someone contact me, and not only is it someone I know who contacts me, but it's specifically the person who I intended to avoid and hide my information from them is contacting me. I don't like that. Kid as in minor, yes. It's not a partner, it's a kid. We don't, that's the thing though. So, Snappy, this is my whole thing. I don't want to be contacted, and there's no reason or way for this person to contact me. And here they are calling my phone. Like, there is no reasonable way for this person to know who I am, where I live, what phone number I have, and what I do with my egg or business or whatever. And here go this person who just like pop up, the exact person who is supposed to have exactly zero information about me, and here they are. Like, I don't. But yes, kid is in minor. When you donate an egg, the donor genetic material was scrubbed out and replaced with the parent's DNA. She says she don't care about the mom that raised me. I don't know why y'all keep bringing up her mom who raised her for these however many years. I'm gonna say she 18. Raised her for these 18 years, took care of her, loved her, appreciated her, and specifically like chose her in my mind because you went to get a donor. Like, this seems more specific than just like getting pregnant and having a child. Yeah, forget about her. We now talk about her mom. We talk about her bio mom who she ain't never seen. That conversation should be discouraged. Okay, let's see what she said back. Hey, I don't mean to be a bother, but I think you may be my biological mom. My mom revealed this info to me and was wondering if you wanted to do a DNA test and possibly get to know me and build a relationship as your daughter. I think I look so much like you. I always felt empty and disconnected from my mom and didn't know why. She replied, hi, I'm going to be very direct with you. This is a major breach of privacy. Egg donation is a confidential, anonymous business transaction. I signed my parental rights away 19 years ago. I'm not your mother, and I do not have the space or desire to build a relationship with a stranger. Please contact the please contact the clinic or agency your parents used, and please do not contact me again. Well, I should have just read that. I'm too long-winded. If I was the donor, I would sue. Like, now the issue is, let me see if I can find her second video. Wait, no. Maybe we should find one of the people who was like making.
Anyone who thinks that woman that donated her eggs was being rude to the person that reached out to her is literally just misogyny.
No, she agreed. We need somebody else. We need somebody else. Because there were people who was on the child side. It's important we get a different perspective.
A woman on here left her baby daddy, became homeless. The internet donated $50K to her, right? She had nowhere to go. So the internet was like, you know what, we're going to give you $50K. People donated to her GoFundMe. It was like, help a single mom, whatever, right? She gets the $50K. She goes back to that man. He helps her spend the $50K. And guess what? Now she's back out on the streets again. This is why when these women come to the internet with their...
Okay. Sorry, I got hooked. That's not related. I'm not doing that right now. I'll just put that in saved. Maybe later. I was it's not that I was hooked, it's that I felt stuck. Because as soon as I heard about a woman and a man, he homeless, and then she got $50K, I already knew where it was going. I was too stunned to speak. Not everybody quiet. Where are the people who were talking?
I didn't.
When I donated? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, I can't find the people critiquing her, so let's go back to her updated video. But people were going in on her. Like, some people were defending her, but people were going absolutely in on her, saying the same thing that I mentioned earlier about her obligation to that child and how mean she is and how we need to have sympathy and so on and so forth. And so they bullied her into saying this.
I've been reading the comments all day. Some of y'all think I was cold. Some of y'all knew where I was coming from, kind of understood. But, reading what some people had to say and honestly think about my own kids, kind of realized, I probably reacted out of shock. So I reached back out to her, and I'm not saying that I want to be her mom or anything of that nature, but, I am open to having a conversation with her, and I am ready to have that conversation. So, yeah, she did say that she wants to talk still. So I'm going to send her my phone number. Most likely, I might record the conversation if she allows it. But, yeah, I guess I'll update y'all on how this goes.
Well, I want to hear the recording now. This is the most current video, so she hasn't talked to the child yet, but I would love to hear that recording. So they bullied her. Yes, this is the donor. They bullied her into contacting that child, and now she's gonna try to build a relationship. Let me see. She said, I've spent the last 24 hours thinking about your message. You spent the last 24 hours reading them comments. That's what that was. My initial response was defensive because I wasn't prepared for this. And I'm sorry if it came off as cold. I'm not in a place to be a mother to you, but I do understand that you're looking for answers. What? Sorry, what answers? So why did you donate your eggs? Money. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to, maybe y'all can help me in the comments. I'm gonna just keep reading. I can't think of a single question I have for an egg donor. This isn't even like giving your child up for adoption is one thing. Maybe even surrogacy, maybe, but egg donor. What's your favorite color? All right. All right. Let's see. Hi, oh my God, yes, I would love that. Thank you. At first, my feelings were hurt, but then I talked to my mom and understood. Now, thank you for reaching back out. People are on her side in the comments now. They're saying that, don't let them bully you into it. I don't think you want a relationship with someone who has to be forced to have it with you, right? What's your favorite color? No, you're gonna have to get out of my face with that. And now we can get to voice memo guy. I don't have anything else to say. She was right. That child was wrong. I just gave y'all that because I never side with the parent. So I had to give something. But I'll play my intro and we can get right into voice memo guy.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Been swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed
So if you have, last week we talked about voice memo guy, and if you are unaware of who or what that is, first I will say that I envy you. But secondly, I will say that voice memo guy refers both to the man himself. Oh, be sure to leave a like, by the way, if you're just coming in, and leave a like on the video because it does help out the algorithm, or a dislike. Fuck you, I don't care. But you should express your dislike. I do think that that's very important, as well as your like. So voice memo guy is both a man, right, who is the subject of or who recorded the voice memo, that he sent to a woman who he went on a date with. But it also refers to a discourse cycle on TikTok currently, as I mentioned before, about voice memo guy and his date and consent and stuff like that. Don't laugh in the comments. I meant that. You should leave it, like, even leaving a dislike is engagement, and it like tells me that no, we don't need to do that again. So yeah, but we spoke about this really briefly because I didn't believe that the topic warranted a lot of discourse. It seems like a very cut and dry topic that I assumed would not require anything longer than what we gave it. But I was surprised to find people, not only are people defending voice memo guy, but they believe that he is a sort of masterclass in consent, right? And a admirable guy. And they also believe, there are a couple different positions that we'll go through, but there are people who are saying that people who critique voice memo guy, in particular women, cis het women, are actually engaging in purity culture. There were some other popular opinions too. The queer community has weighed in, and they suggested that the issue is not with voice memo guy, but it is with hetero women, who they are saying is like, hetero women are just unused to a guy being straightforward and upfront about his intentions. Like we'll get into it, but like the whole conversation, in my opinion, needs to be relitigated. So I think we can just start by playing the voice memo in question and go from there.
Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're going to go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm going to come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that, so like I guess my thing is like, what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine, but like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there or not. So up to you. Let me know. I'm happy to if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to have a good time, and you know, we can have some wine, hang out, and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know.
I forgot he said the F word. I kind of only have one per stream, and I used it earlier. So, well, that's it for monetization for this stream. So I guess we can get really vulgar. No need for grape or anything like that. We could just be out loud. Anywho, so let's get a quick recap. They went on a date earlier that day, their first date, and he asked her for sex at some point. She declines. They plan a second date at her house later the same day, the same night. He sends the voice memo, this one that we just listened to, letting her know that it was acceptable for her to decline on the first date. But he needs her to confirm that they'll be having sex when he comes to her house. And he lets her know that he considers it a waste of his time to continue seeing her if he doesn't know for sure that she'll be having sex with him when he comes over. He says that's very important for him to verify that he is sexually compatible early on. So he wants her to confirm, like, with certainty, not like the earlier declining of sex she gave. He doesn't believe what had enough certainty. So he's looking for a no with more certainty. And once she confirms that she intends to have sex when he comes over, they can keep talking. Otherwise, he'll just move on to someone who will, it feels like. So he lets her know that he'd really love to hang out, chill, drink some alcohol, and have sex. But again, before he wastes his time getting to know her, he needs to make sure his penis is, in fact, compatible with her hole. So is that a fair representation of his voice memo? Do you guys feel like I misrepresented anything that he said or any of his intentions? Or is it pretty accurate to say he wanted to have sex when he came over and he wanted to confirm, he wanted her to confirm that she was going to let him, because if not, getting to know her would be a waste of time, and he would drop things there and move on to the next girl. Is that fair? Oh, and cuddle. Don't forget cuddle. Got to throw that in there. So it seems like, I want something more than sex. Oh, and cuddling and hang out. Yeah. So I don't think I misrepresented anything that he said. I think he said definitely he wants to have sex when he comes over. He wants her to confirm she's going to let him, because if not, getting to know her would be a waste of time, and he dropped things there and move on to the next girl. Yeah, there is a consent issue here. Apparently some people don't think so, but we'll get to their takes in a second. So before we get to the takes, I will be upfront about my opinion here, which you probably already know, but it seemed pretty disgusting. I feel that it is dehumanizing, to me at least, because some people are okay with this and even really, really like this type of, I guess, message. But for me, it feels dehumanizing for him to suggest that someone's value to him, and more specifically in this patriarchal society that we live in, a woman's value to him to be determined by whether or not he gets access to her body. I'm going to put this comment on screen. Where did it go? Oops, not that one. Oh, no. Is this the new F-boy tactic, needing to test their sexual compatibility on the second date? I'm going to pin this and come back to it, because I just found out, I think today, Kat Black was reviewing this, and she played, this is apparently a pickup artist template, so to speak. So apparently boys are using this template, and they just replace some information to make it applicable to their date, and then they send the type of message that he just sent. But we're gonna listen to it right after we look at the people's opinions on it, because it was a direct copy, which makes sense. This is it's giving manosphere, it's giving pickup artists, it's giving red pill. So it makes sense that it's a script that men would be using. So yeah, that's my issue. My issue is that I feel it's dehumanizing to be reduced to whether or not someone can have access to your body. Objectification of women in particular seem like a very deeply ingrained thing in our society. And this voice memo situation seems like nothing but that concept personified. So, and to be clear, it's not that he directly says that she has no value outside of sex. He doesn't directly say that, or that's all he was interested in. It's more like your time and conversation and the parts of you that exist outside of your sexual parts are not all too valuable to me. And that's not to say that you as a woman have no value outside of sex. It's just to say that without sex, you're worth about one date maximum. Or to put it in his words, let me see, did he say a waste of his time? Let me go back. he didn't say it was a waste of his time, did he? No, he said, what would be the point of me coming over if we're not going to hook? Okay, so he didn't say the exact words, a waste of my time, just implied it heavily. So 2 dates of talking, 2 dates, just two dates of talking and getting to know you and like your thoughts and opinions and your values and the way that you think about life, in the way that you navigate life, and you know, like all the things that make you you. Anything more than 1 date of that stuff is like kind of not worth my time. So in my opinion, that just seems a little dehumanizing. It seemed disgusting, but ultimately it is the same predictable patriarchy, manosphere type of thing that we've all come to know and expect by now. So it is no longer surprising to me, at least. I was not surprised at all by the voice memo guy, which is why I felt it took no, it warranted no attention, in my opinion. So imagine my surprise when my For You page is still weeks later, no matter what I click not interested on, or no matter who I block, because I've been blocking bad opinions lately, so I don't react. But no matter what I do, even now, I think weeks now later, it is still being dominated by voice memo discourse. And it seems really unusual to me that there would even be any type of, it doesn't seem like there would need to be any type of meaningful analysis or breakdown or dissection of this past hearing the original voice memo that we just heard, getting the ick and moving on. That's what the kids call it, the ick. But apparently that is not the case. So we can look at some of the most viewed videos getting the most engagement, and dominating the algorithm kind of, so that we can do what I feel like hopefully will be more analytical, but not too analytical, because we got to get out of here in under an hour. So I can pack my bags. I'm going on vacation to Haiti. Can't wait. Going to love it. I'm leaving tomorrow. Wish me luck. If I don't respond to any messages for 5 days, please send help. So let's look at those videos. I'm going to play the ones that I think best embody the main positions on this topic, and then we'll talk about those positions and those videos and the position they represent. And I think the general positions I would say are women want to be lied to. That's one I'm hearing a lot. Safe travels. Now, you know, so you just praying. That's not a realistic one. But people are saying women want to be lied to and other versions of that. There's also this sort of attitude around him being critiqued, where it feels like men, and even a lot of women actually, and queer people are chiming in, are saying, so what's there's this sort of attitude of, well, what is he supposed to do? Well, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to lie? Do you want him to manipulate? There are people who are, women in particular, who are saying that they would be happy to receive that message instead of waiting until like he's at the house to be presented with it. There are people who are saying this is like a noble thing for him to do because he is giving you the option to consent in advance or opt out in it, or not consent in advance, I guess. There's the women aren't used to blunt honesty. That's a big one. I think the queer people are saying this is how they do it in the queer community. This is just how they are. And there's nothing wrong with this message. But the real issue is women heteronormative dating does not like this type of messaging. And they want like the dressed up patriarchal approach from men, or something to that effect. And then there's, in line with earlier what we said about what is he supposed to do, lie and manipulate. There's also women want honesty, but then they critique him when he's honest, or something like that. There are people insinuating that when women reject a man who is upfront about wanting sex, or critique him in any way, that this is in fact what creates rape culture. Simultaneously, somehow, they are also saying that this is purity culture, and people are, I guess, finding it gross to want sex early on because of purity culture brainwashing. Let's see, there was, a big one was that women are traumatized and inserting their past traumas into this totally innocent guy, and all he did was make his intentions known. And sure, he was a little bad with wording, We're going to hear that one a lot. Something like that. Oh my God, like, sure, his wording was bad, but like, he didn't do anything wrong. There's no issue with consent here or manipulation, or it was just like he did something, like he didn't word it quite right. We're going to hear a lot of that. And being awkward is not the same as being manipulative. Let's see. People said that this is not coercion or manipulation. It's just awkwardness. Here's one that I like. Some people are autistic and just communicate like that. So we're getting that a lot. Apparently, anytime a man send a message like this and we don't like it, like, we have to understand that he could be, in fact, autistic. Well, I won't say comments on that yet, actually. We're supposed to just be going down the list of like the main opinions and then watching the video. I'm not supposed to be giving my opinion yet, but going down them, y'all know I like to interrupt to insert my opinion, so it's difficult for me. There are people saying he just wanted to clarify because she was too ambiguous with her answer earlier that day, and that there is nothing wrong with wanting to clear things up when consent is vague. Lastly, there was a man who came out talking about how to manipulate women, and he was giving guys tips on why not to say up front that you want to have sex, and how to like lie your way into getting over to their house, and then like being ambiguous about things and not direct. Like, he came out just saying some degenerate stuff, and the people who are defending Voice Memo guy use this as an example of what they believe happens when women say that Voice Memo guy is gross. Now guys are going to lie to you because, like, I guess you didn't sleep with them or something. So I should have some saved TikToks for all of those positions. Usually girls with bangs, as the internet is pointing out. And I should be able to bring those up now. So let's start with number 1, which we should all know at this point. I can't go through all these videos. Not all the ones I have planned, but like specifically this one. It's like so hard to navigate her channel because all of the thumbnails look the same. Here's what I'll do while we wait for that, for me to pull that up. I'll let you guys hear Voice Memo guy one more time, just in case we forgot what in fact the Voice Memo says, because as you'll see when we go through the content, apparently the people defending Voice Memo guy did not listen to what Voice Memo guy said, because they're just making stuff up. So let's listen one more time, and while we do that, I'll find the video we're supposed to look at.
Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're going to go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm going to come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine, but like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there or not. So up to you. Let me know. I'm happy to if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to have a good time, and you know, we can have some wine, hang out and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know.
So that was the Voice Memo. Make sure to keep it in your head. If we need to go back to it, let me know and we will. But make sure to keep it in your head because they're about to create a new reality. So you need to keep grounded. Petti, have you seen the stats on the percentages of men that have engaged in coercion? So I'm not sure if this is what you're referring to, but I have looked into a study called Denying Rape but Endorsing Forceful Intercourse. And it spoke about men, not just in regards to coercion, but also like just straight up physical rape. And when asked if they had ever raped someone, they said no. When asked other definitions, like have you ever prevented a woman from leaving unless she had sex with you, or threatened to do something unless she had sex with you, or so on and so forth, right? What we would legally consider rape. The men answered yes, as long as you did not use the R word. I think that may be what you're talking about, because it does talk about coercion in there, like someone preventing you from leaving, even if they're not like being physically violent with you yet, or someone threatening something, or to harm themselves, or someone like begging over and over and over again, or someone like not respecting a no. Like they talk about the percentage of men who do this. I don't remember what the percentage was. I do remember that it was a lot. I can't remember if it was the majority, but I think so. Interestingly enough, the same study, and this may explain, actually, I didn't think about this. This may explain like why the women are going to be responding how they respond when we look at them today. But the same study showed that when asking women if they had ever been raped, they also said no. But when asking them about has a man ever forced you to do something, or have sex that you didn't want to have, or prevent you from leaving, or make you feel unsafe, or like you couldn't safely decline sex or something like that, the women also answered yes. So not only were men saying that they have R'd someone without directly using the word, but women were also saying they've never been R'd while describing what is rape. So I think that may be what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. And I can't remember the exact percentages. But maybe I'll look it up while we look stuff. He lacks tact and is bad at manipulation for sure, but he shouldn't get kudos for being a loser on top of the other problems. I ain't giving him nothing. Nothing. What's his bank account look like? Well, he sounded excited about the physical part. Thank you, production, for $5. Honestly, I wish a district attorney would weigh in to remind these degenerates that consent can be revoked at any time. Actually, I don't know if they're district attorneys, but there have been legal folk, I think they're lawyers, who have weighed in on TikTok. And the sentiment, and this is like biased, like my for you is not your for you, it's not the person next to you's for you. So these lawyers don't like represent lawyers as a whole, but the lawyers I've seen on TikTok have been describing this as a method that men use commonly to protect themselves from claims of rape. So if a woman were to, let's say, revoke her consent that she gave over a voice memo days before and decide that the day of she doesn't want to have sex, a man might try to present this as evidence that she did in fact consent to bolster his argument in court. So I'm not sure how common that is, but lawyers have been describing this as some, I'll say, red flag behavior. Concerning to say the least. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Did you hear the black guy voice memo? Okay, we can listen to that at the end. I haven't. I apologize for bang havers. No need. My ex would say stuff like this. He sounds gross. Agreed. I'll put her on screen so I can prime y'all so that it's not a jump scare. 95%? Was it actually? Like, I know that's a really, really high number, but I don't disbelieve it. Like, I do remember the number being like extremely common. Like, oh, this is like the person who you're dating, the person who you had a fling with, your dad, your cousin, your brother. Like, oh, this is like a lot. I do remember thinking that when I read it. A different one. Okay, it's in the Discord. I'll look at it, but I'll start playing this now too, so I don't keep down here in these comments.
Of a girl that got a voice note from a guy that a video went viral last week of a girl that got a voice note from a guy that she was dating, and he was basically saying, hey, if we're going to continue hanging out, I just want you to know that I am seeking a sexual connection And if you don't want to explore a sexual connection, then we should probably just end this now because a sexual connection is a priority to me. And this was
let me quickly pause. I was actually going to let this play all the way through, but I wanted to quickly pause because I feel like this is inaccurate. I know it's just like the first couple sentences of the video, but to be clear, again, in his voice memo, he said he wants to make sure that if he's going over, he gets to have sex with her, despite them like only having met each other in person for the first date, just like maybe minutes or hours ago. He said it's hard for him to continue seeing someone who he met a couple hours ago if he doesn't have sex with them. He says he's aware that she already said earlier that she's unsure about that, and he doesn't see what the point would be for him to come over if they won't be having sex and otherwise getting physical. Then he goes on to say that if she doesn't want that, then he thinks they should end things. Because for the first date, not having sex was fine because you want to get to know each other. But for a second date forward, he needs to have sex. He's pretty repetitive, but he finishes off like by saying pretty much the same stuff. He needs to have sex. He needs to know if the square goes in the square hole. It's important that he does this quickly so he doesn't waste his time. And he would love for them to have alcohol and sex and hang out. So, and if she's not trying to have sex, then they should go their separate ways. Okay, are we now caught up on the actual content of the voice memo? Yes, got it. So I'm not sure if she's doing this intentionally or not, but she's like omitting what I feel like are crucial contextual details. And by leaving out those details, I think she is softening his tone, and the implications of the voice memo become different when she leave out those specifics. So her summary makes it seem like maybe he's just like nobly doing some proactive communication as opposed to what seems like pushy and transactional ultimatum that it is. So I'm going to let it play, but like she did leave those details out.
A video went viral last week of a girl that got a voice note from a guy that she was dating, and he was basically saying, hey, if we're going to continue hanging out, I just want you to know that I am seeking a sexual connection. And if you don't want to explore a sexual connection, then we should probably just end this now because a sexual connection is a priority to me. And this was presented as a negative thing, and the comments were littered with people saying men aren't lonely enough, et cetera, et cetera. And I was sitting there thinking, this is what consent looks like, y'all. Like, we discussed the concept of consent so much, but
this is not what consent looks like, by the way. Consent doesn't look like somebody already declined your offer for sex, so you ask again, but put some more pressure on them and let them know you're gonna leave if they don't. And they're not worth your time if they don't. So yeah, that's not what consent looks like. Never seen that definition.
I don't think people actually understand what it looks like. And that voice note is what consent looks like. It is blunt. It is raw. It is obvious. And that guy.
Oh, and by the way, people use the language blunt and upfront and straightforward. I don't think being blunt requires you to be brutal or rude or harsh or reduce someone's humanity to what's between their leg. Just like as a quick note, someone saying you're not worth my time unless I get to use that thing between your legs, because like we've already been seeing each other for 2 hours now. Like, why would I waste my time on like something where there's not going to be some wet AP word involved? So like, yeah, being blunt does not mean that.
I gave the girl a chance to be like, oh, okay, this is moving too quickly for me, and that's not how I want to conduct us dating right now. It should be that fucking easy. Consent, especially sex.
Wait.
Consent looks like. It is blunt. It is raw. It is obvious.
This is old, but yes, she still is to this day. Yes, she's made several.
Yes. And that guy gave the girl a chance to be like, oh, okay, this is moving too quickly for me, and that's not how I want to conduct us dating right now.
To be clear, number one, I don't like the like he gave her a chance. I don't like that language around like a man like asking for consent to have sex. Because isn't that like kind of the only way to have sex would be for the person to have like the chance to decline, right? But also, she says that he's giving her a chance to say, oh, this is moving too fast, I don't know about that. She already has as of like 2 hours ago when they went on their date tonight. He says, let me see what he says to make sure, because I'm not going to misconstrue people. I got to organize my notes better. Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you're lovely, but I'd love if we're going to your place Thursday. I'm looking to have physical intimacy, see if I'm sexually compatible to you. I'm hoping to hook up, have a romantic and physical spark for my own sake. Not us, not you, mine. It's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. Is I don't know about that, like when you ask someone to have sex, that feels like a no, right? We're not having sex with people who say, oh, I don't know about that. Like, we're not taking that as ambiguous, right? We're taking that as a no. So if we're taking that as a no, someone said they're not sure about having sex with you when you ask them for consent. She has already declined. He's not giving her a chance to decline. He has, in fact, already had that conversation with her earlier that day, to which she did decline. And now after she has declined to have sex, he's coming behind that to make her clarify that she's declining. Because I guess I'm unsure about having sex with you is just like something that we don't know what it means. We just don't know if this person consents or not. So no, this was not him giving her a chance to decline. This was her declining earlier that day and him the same night. Excuse me. They went, per his voice memo, they went on a date that night. I didn't know this until like this morning or yesterday evening. They went on a date that night. So I don't know, 6 p.m. after. And the same night, he's sending a voice memo. So I'm like trying to do math in my head. This is all imaginary. I don't know how long these people went out, but like, okay, you go out at 6 p.m. You get to the venue at 6:30. Y'all sit down or talking until like the food comes at, I don't know, 7. Maybe some appetizers a little bit before that. And then y'all are eating for maybe like an hour or so. And then like 30 minutes, y'all are winding down or whatever. He asks you to have sex. You say no. And then y'all go y'all separate way. And then the same night, he sends a voice memo after you decline to have sex and says like, yeah, but if I'm coming over next time, remember when we were planning the date for your house? Yeah, I'm gonna need sex. Doubling back, yes. Pushy, not giving her a chance to say no. Asking her again after she declined. That's what that is.
It should be that fucking easy. Consent, especially sexual consent, should be blunt.
I agree. It should be on your profile. Thank you, Okani. It should have been on his profile. I'm only interested in sex. Or, hey, just to let y'all know, I want to have sex on date 1. If you don't want to, that's fine. But there won't be a date 2 without sex. Just letting you know right here on my profile. Because that's important to me. It's important to him, he says. It is critical to him to see that he has that sexual connection, but he won't put it in his profile. This very important thing. So important. Anywho.
This is a great opportunity for y'all to increase your sexual education a little bit. I am 37 years old. I have done a lot of dating and a lot of sleeping around, and I have faced a lot of sexual abuse and trauma because these conversations were not held beforehand. I think.
So let's pause. I will have sympathy for people's trauma, understood. And I have seen a plethora of people saying that there are people who are describing their trauma in the comment section on some of these videos, and they're talking about why they like his voice memo because of some situations that they had where everything was ambiguous and they suffered because of that. So they would have loved in that situation to have gotten a voice memo like that. I'm not going to like pick people's trauma apart or like force people to accept my worldview when it comes to their personal dating life or anything like that. But like someone taking a pain from the past that you've had and looking at this man degenerate behavior and saying, well, it was less degenerate than what could have happened and what has happened before. I don't think this is actually something that we have to like uplift or see as admirable or something like that. Like the language he used was still quite disgusting. His views, in my opinion, were still quite disgusting because it seemed like he's uninterested in someone's personhood outside of what's between their leg, and he won't even be upfront and put it on his profile. Likely because he know ain't nobody gonna swipe on him. So let me just go ahead and keep that to myself until I'm like already we have some skin in the game, so to speak. But that's disgusting, yeah. Like no STD test. No, nothing. Just begging. It's really important.
It's admirable. I think it's admirable. And I think that if you are unwilling to have upfront and blunt conversations about your sexual health and your sexual expectations with
pause. Sexual health. When did they talk about condoms, protection, birth control, STDs, tests? When did they talk about that? When were they upfront and blunt about sex? Remember, sex is very important to him, especially sexual compatibility. When were they talking about any of that, about a sexual health? Like, am I misunderstanding her video? Did I mishear the voice memo and she picked up something I did not? Because what it sounded like he said is, I wanted to have sex tonight. You said no. That's fine because it's the first date. But for the second date, when I come over your house, I want some P word. And if I don't get it, then I'll move on to someone else because I don't find you worth my time for a second date. Where was sexual health? Let me see what he said. For my sake. This is like, he's an admirable guy. I'm looking to have physical intimacy to see if I'm sexually compatible with you. I'm going to come over. If I'm going to come over, I was hoping to hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said you don't know about that. But I guess my thing is, like, what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not going to hook up and cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like, I think we should just end it here respectfully. Just because I first date, that's fine. Like, you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like, I'm looking to have that physical aspect there, blah blah blah. Like, he's really repetitive. I could have wrote down like one sentence instead of his whole voice memo because like it's really repetitive. I'm trying to find the sexual health conversation. Where are we seeing this like sexual health conversation and openness and honesty? I'm seeing bluntness. Well, to be honest, I'm not even seeing bluntness. The sexual compatibility thing, I don't know if I said this in the last stream. I don't think that's a real thing that men are talking about. I think they're just using language other than I want to have sex because they believe that'll look bad. So I don't actually believe this is upfront and forthcoming. Because I think he's intentionally like misrepresenting what he actually wants and not putting it on his profile. But it is certainly not a conversation about sexual health. Not only is she leaving out details about his voice memo to make it seem better, but she's also inserting details that don't exist in this voice memo, again, to make him seem better, more noble than he actually is. His health concern is Welcome, Vitamin. Welcome to the stream. I won't read that, but yes, actually agree. Does no one see a problem with this? Like, am I tripping? It feels like she's creating something imaginary that was not said in that voice memo, was not implied in that voice memo. He ain't say sexual health was important, nor did he have a conversation about it. He said for his sake, he needs to have sex now. It ain't worth a second date without it. He is low-key noble and high-key disgusting. It must be very low-key. I missed it. Let me rewind just a little bit. Let's not lose the plot.
And I think that if you are unwilling to have upfront and blunt conversations about your sexual health and your sexual expectations with someone that you are likely eventually going to have sex with, then you probably shouldn't be dating anyone at all. Y'all need to learn how to communicate, and you need to understand that the more directly and bluntly you communicate with other people, the better your fucking relationships will be. We are so unfortunately deeply conditioned by like Disney romance rape culture that we have come to believe that like romance is supposed to be like all of this silence and feelings that people are supposed to like be able to perceive. No, that's why rape culture exists, because people don't talk about shit.
The reason rape culture does not exist, in her opinion, is because people are not blunt and forward about their sexual health like voice memo guy. Let me see what she's talking about again. Masterclass in consent. Let me see.
Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're going to go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm going to come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine, but like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine, like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that, but like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there or not. So up to you, let me know. I'm happy to if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to have a good time, and you know, we can have some wine, hang out and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know.
So this creator believes, excuse me, let me put her back on screen. We're referring to her, sorry. This creator believes that the reason rape culture exists is because we don't have more men like him who are willing to tell women that they don't see a reason to date you past the first date without getting sex. The reason that rape culture exists is because a man who feel entitled to a woman's body, otherwise he don't really see value in her outside of that, talking to her more than one night, him letting her know that, and women feeling like disgusted by that, not really wanting that type of message from a man. This is in fact the reason why rape culture exists. Not like the actual guy who feel entitlement to a woman's body does not respect the first no, circles back to try to see if he can get a different answer than no. That's not what's creating rape culture, apparently. The women responding to that with disgust, that's what's creating rape culture. Got it. Wait, let me make sure I heard right.
That like romance is supposed to be like all of this silence and feelings that people are supposed to like be able to perceive. No, that's why rape culture exists, because people don't talk about shit. A video?
Yeah, so again, she leaves out information that changes context. I'll be quick because we've already said this. But the first thing she leave out is the timeline, which is this is immediately after the first date. He specifically say he had a good time tonight. He references it being the first date. And I don't think this is the most significant point, but I do think that leaving this out could possibly make it seem like this is an ongoing relationship where a conversation about sexual expectations naturally arise. But the actual reality is that this is an ultimatum for sex that he gave her immediately after their first meeting, which makes the pacing seem much more demanding, his pacing. I think secondly, she leaves out the fact that the woman already had hesitation prior to the voice memo. She presents this whole thing as if the man is bringing up the topic of consent and expectations for the very first time, giving the woman a chance to decide if it's moving too quickly. But she leaves out completely that he says he's aware she already told him she doesn't know about this. I think that's evidence, that specific detail is evidence that the topic has already been touched on, in that the woman has already expressed hesitation or like a soft decline, if I'm being honest. Like if I don't know the tone, but like if somebody was like, let's go skiing, and I said, I don't know about that, buddy, like that's a no, actually. That's a colloquial no, but I'm going to call it at the very least a soft decline. So the voice memo is not like a respectful initial question about sex. It is him circling back, like someone said earlier, but I don't have the comment, after her hesitation, to give her a firm sort of ultimatum that she must commit to having sex if he's going to come over. I think the third thing she left out was the transactional language. She paraphrases the man saying, as saying like, if she doesn't want to explore a sexual connection, they should end it because a sexual connection is a priority to me. But she's leaving out the actual phrasing of like, what would be the point of me coming over if we're not going to hook up and be intimate with each other? And like I pointed out earlier, there is a difference, a big difference between prioritizing sexual compatibility, which I also have a critique of, that I guess we'll get to later, and telling someone that their company is like pointless without it. And he explicitly states that spending time with her has no point to him unless it guarantees sex. But this creator like summary like sanitizes every single thing that the type of language that he used, and the transactional framing that he had. So when she's focusing entirely on the fact that he was blunt, and offered her a quote unquote out, which she calls raw consent, I think she is stripping away the timeline. She's stripping away the woman's previous hesitation, and she's stripping away the man's transactional language, which hide the implication that he's pressuring her for sex immediately following a first date, and not just implying, but directly saying that her company is otherwise a waste of his time. Why did she leave all this out? I don't know. And she say this what consent look like, but that seems strange because it doesn't seem like the type of thing you get like over a voice memo a couple days in advance. Consent seemed more like, you know, something that you give at the time of the act, maybe like right before the act, during the act, can be revoked anytime before the act happens if you feel like you're going to do it later and say yeah, and then like right before you decide not to. That seems like something that's doable. If you're doing the thing and then you revoke it, that seems like something that's like should be doable. So I'm going to go ahead and say like voice memo is not a master class in consent. Hey, give me consent to have sex with you in a couple days, or like it's not worth coming over. I'm going to say that's not like a master class in consent. So let's move on to number 2, or we could go through her videos because she made a lot. She doubled down, tripled down, like she made a lot. And she also, I don't know if I said this, but she also paints this dichotomy. A lot of people are going to paint this today, where ladies, you have 2 options, right? A man either tells you that you're a waste of his time if you're not giving it up tonight, or he'll just lie to you to use your body, which interestingly enough is an ultimatum that she's giving. And if she doesn't view like what she's doing in this as between a man being upfront about objectification versus lying about objectification, if she doesn't view that like as an ultimatum, but like a actual legitimate choice, then I guess maybe that can sort of explain to me why she doesn't view this as an ultimatum, what he's doing. But let me see what she had to say after that, because she says she's not done with y'all. Like, but even just the title of the video is like, do y'all want consent or not? Huh? Who are you talking to?
Oh man. If you're a person that can remember.
Okay, so someone replied to that video in the comments. They said, maybe it's me being someone who remember a life before technology interconnected everything, but I think even getting consent over a voice note is just creepy. That's something you discuss in person. If they send you a voice note requesting consent, they want a voice note giving it, and I fear a voice note is never actually a way to give consent. It's a way to blur a line. I actually do. That's what the lawyers on TikTok seem to think too. Maybe we can find one. Let's see what she had. Let's see what she had to say.
Oh man. If you're a person that can remember life before technology, then you are also a part of the generations that did not discuss sexual consent openly or publicly. So I would not expect for you to understand why it was totally appropriate for this guy to send a voice note explicitly stating his sexual needs, and why that is far less creepy and far less offensive than him having done that in person.
Wait. One of the comments says what I was thinking. Didn't the note say, he said, I know you said you're not sure. I'm paraphrasing, someone correct me if my memory's off, which would indicate that they've already had this conversation and he's pushing the issue now. Someone replied to that and said, no, it indicates he's asking for clarification because she chose to invite him over knowing what his boundary was. Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand the reply to that. Like, I understand the original comment. Like, yes, actually, there is an implied they had a conversation to which she already soft declined, and now he's pushing the issue. Yes. But this guy says he's asking for clarification because she chose to invite him over knowing what his boundary was. What is knowing that he doesn't want to have? That's not a boundary, by the way. I don't think that's a boundary. Wanting access to someone else's body is not a boundary, by the way. Saying I'm not sure about sex, I don't think I want to have sex right now, that's a boundary because that involves you, your body, what you believe should be happening or should not be happening to your body. You saying I want access to your body, that's not like a boundary. And if I don't get that, I'm gonna leave. I mean, I guess you gonna leave. That's your boundary or whatever. Well, no, that's not that. No, this doesn't seem like a boundary to me. I've never heard it used in this way. Even like when I'm trying to give the best faith interpretation I can't see it as a boundary. Let me have sex with you or I'm leaving. That's my boundary. Access to your body. Okay, got it. But like being invited over, I think that's what confused me about his comment. Even if you think like she invited him over after she said she doesn't want to have sex. Let me see. She chose to invite him over knowing what his boundary was. Correct me if I'm wrong. They made plans. We don't know who invited who over. If she did, he made the plan. They both made it together, probably. It sounds like at the point where she said no to sex and then they made plans to meet at her house, I guess, all she knows at this point is that he wanted to have sex on the first day and she wasn't sure about that. Like, she doesn't know that he's going to leave on the second date at the point where they're making the date because he sends the voice memo after that. So number one, his so-called boundary about wanting access to her body or leaving is not something that she knew about when inviting him over to the house. All she knew is that he wanted to have sex. She declined. And then she invited him over. Now, if you're the type of person who believes inviting someone over to the house implies having sex, I don't know what to tell you. If somebody says I'm uncomfortable having sex right now, but let's hang out at my house this weekend, I'm not confused. Is anyone confused? Let me know in the comments. You can click the link, come up and talk about it. If someone says I'm unsure about having sex right now, I think this is moving too fast, I don't know if I'm ready to have sex. And then they say, but we can hang out at my house this weekend. Are you confused about whether or not you're going to be having sex with this person? Are you confused about whether or not this person who just said they're unsure about having sex, don't want to have sex, not moving too fast, whatever? Are you like now confused because you're going over to her house? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. I'm not confused. Does an invitation to the house imply that we'll be having sex? If you believe an invitation to the house implies that we'll be having sex, do you believe that changes if right before the plans to come over to the house, I explicitly say, I don't know, I don't know about having sex. I'm not sure about that. Like even if you believe that coming over to somebody's house means y'all gonna have sex, what if they say like, no, I don't want to, like before you come? I'm not confused. So I don't know why people are saying he asked for clarification. He just needed clarification. She just needed to clear things up. Things were just too ambiguous. They had to be blunt and defined, because like coming over to her house creates this confusion, this sexual confusion. Does she want it? Does she not want it? We can't know. All she said is that I'm not ready for this. It's moving too fast. I'm unsure about this. I don't know if I'm comfortable having sex right now. We just can't tell at this point, because now I'm going to her house. So what do I do? How do I know what she wants? There's just no way to tell. But better ask again. Because apparently when somebody say, I don't know about this, I'm unsure, it's moving too fast, I'm not ready for this, I just don't know if I want that right now. Apparently, this don't mean no, it means ask again. Apparently, that's what that means. You don't know? What about now? What if I told you I'm gonna stop talking to you? Apparently, that's what that means. You gotta up the temperature. You gotta put some stakes on the line. That's what when somebody says they're not sure they want to consent to sex with you, that doesn't mean no. That means ask again, but this time raise the stakes. Got it. My apologies. I didn't realize. Now that I'm up to date, let's continue.
Than him having done that in person, explicitly stating his sexual needs, and why that is far less creepy and far less offensive than him having done that in person.
Here's what's far less offensive and far less creepy. Putting it on my dating profile. I want sex fast. If we're not having sex fast, I'm sorry, I got a funny text. If we're not, I wasn't laughing at like the situation. I got a funny text, but lost it. Cause I'm joking and laughing and kikiing with people and supposed to be streaming. Y'all leave me alone while I stream, and I know y'all watching. So let me rewind so I can remember what she said. Oh, being blunt is putting it on the profile. That would be less creepy. Number one, he wasn't being blunt. Don't care what nobody say. He was not being blunt. He was being rude, mean, and objectifying. Number one. Number two, bluntness does not require rudeness. Again, don't know why she's sanitizing his message. I'm uninterested in you outside of sex, like you're not worth the second date. It's not the same as, hey, I want to let you know that I'm interested in being like a physical early on. So if that's not your thing, let me know. That's okay. Because that's my thing. Like that seems a lot different than like, wait, what's the point then? What's the point then? And I think she was a feminist. I think maybe that's what confused me. I was quite surprised on the feminist takes on this, because your body as a woman being useless unless I get to use it for my sexual gratification seem like feminism 101 in the most literal sense, like the first class that you would take at college, or the first book you would pick up and read, or the first video that you would watch on YouTube. Right up there with who set that system up. This seemed like the foundation, no? Like one of the first things that you know. Got it.
You really think it would have? That is far less creepy and far less offensive than him having done that in person.
Oh, and no, it's not less offensive for someone to say they want to use your body over the phone instead of in person. It's not less. It might feel more safe. I might agree with that. It might feel more safe, but more respectful. No, I don't think so. Less offensive. Excuse me. I don't think so.
Do you really think it would have been better for him to state his sexual expectations to her in person, putting her in the vulnerable position of having to...
What would have been better is if after she said no, he like didn't push for it again. Like instead of sending the voice memo or pushing for it in person, we could have just said, oh, this person doesn't want to have sex. I do want to have sex early on. It sounds like they're unsure about that type of thing. So I think at this point, like, since sex is very important to me, he says, that physical connection is really important to him. It's so important that he can't do a second date without it. He needs to see if the PP will in fact fit inside. Like, he needs to make sure about sexual compatibility. Like, he really needs to make sure. Very important. So at this point where someone is saying, I don't know about that, or they seem uncomfortable or unsure about having sex so early on, in my opinion, if you want to have sex and they are unsure, you should take this as a no. You shouldn't try to change their mind. You should disengage at this point, because it seems like you want to have sex immediately because you asked for it on the first date. She said no. Now you're saying that's fine for the first date, but for the second date, like, I need it. At this point, y'all are not compatible anymore. Like, there is no need to say you need to make up your mind about having sex so that I can know whether I leave or stay. If someone said, if you ask someone for consent to have sex with them and they say, I don't know about that, I'm unsure, this is moving too fast, I think I'm just a little uncomfortable having sex up front, and they don't say no directly, this is not the point where you say, I need you to clarify and tell me yes or no. What is it about someone who is not giving you enthusiastic yes that makes you feel like, okay, well, let me see if I can get from an uncomfortable to a hesitant yes. Let me see if I can get that. Am I tripping? Because she say like the voice memo is so much better than doing it in person. I feel like they're both like equally bad. You might feel safer with one, but as far as offense, remember, when someone says they're uncomfortable with consent, or they're unsure about whether or not they want to have sex with you, this means try to convince them. It doesn't mean leave. It means try to convince them. Apparently. And I surrender. Like, what is the best case scenario here? Like, oh my, what a great guy, he gave her the chance to consent. Okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't know about this, but fine. Like, is that the goal? Is the goal? I don't know about it, but yes.
Wonder if she gave the wrong answer or not, if that was going to risk her safety. Come on, let's use some critical thought here. Let's use some fucking critical thought here. That was going to expectations to her in person, putting her in the vulnerable position of having to wonder if she gave the wrong answer or not, if that was going to risk her safety. Come on, let's use some critical thought.
She's still in that position if she answers the voice memo. What if she answers, no, I don't want to have sex? And he's like, oh, okay, well, I can come over anyway. We don't have to have sex. I don't think that changes the safety. The initial message itself, in the safetiness of someone like sending you a message versus saying it to you in person, maybe. But like, as far as someone giving you a voice memo, the safety ends there. If you say no and they come over and they say they're fine with coming over and they come over, I feel like I would still be worried about whether this person just told me they want to have sex, like, straight up. And I'm worried about like what they will do. Because they said, oh, it's fine if you say no and I'll come over anyway. But like, is it fine? Is it actually fine? Or if you say yes and they come over, like, can I change? Is it okay to change my mind? Is that going to be a problem? These feel like things that would happen regardless of if you say it on the voice memo or in person. Nothing changes for safety outside of the initial question. Yes, because he didn't physically harm her. He could have harmed her. Is that what you wanted? You women are never satisfied. Wow. So you want him to have beat her in person and forced? Is that what you want? Like, apparently we gotta beg for scraps.
Here, let's use some fucking critical thought here. The voice note was direct communication, and it put enough space in between the two parties for him to communicate honestly and for her to answer honestly with no one's safety being put at risk.
Okay, she did all that earlier. They did all that earlier, and she said no. And yes, it's I hate when someone's condescending and wrong. I can't stand it. If you're right, I'm gonna be upset, but like, when you're wrong, that's just a whole different type of, like, that annoys me. If someone just uppity and wrong, confident and wrong.
We are so deeply conditioned to believe that we should be risking our bodies in the sake of.
We're conditioned to believe that when a man tell us that you ain't worth nothing but some pussy, this is good, he's admirable, she says, and this is a masterclass in consent because it happened over the phone. That's what we condition for. I don't know anything else we condition for.
Some sort of like perception of direct communication. Any direct communication through any forms of communication is direct communication. It would have been far creepier for him to advance her with his sexual expectations while they were in person.
Okay, it would have been creepier. Got it. Sure. But this was still wrong though. Thank goodness he said, you ain't worth nothing but some pussy over the phone instead of in person. Like, why are you unhappy? He literally said it on the phone. Y'all are brainwashed. Like, that irks me. Irks. Let's see. Someone said, I would feel so pressured to answer that question on the spot in person. It wasn't appropriate at all. It was weird and off-putting. Agreed. Oh, this is the same guy from earlier. Oh, there's a guy all through these comments. Apparently he replying to anybody who is like disagreeing with the voice memo guy. He is all up and down in these comments. These the type of men you got in your comments agreeing with you? I need to pull that lady video up because she said whenever you got a bunch of men agreeing with you in the comments and all the women arguing with you, you did something wrong. Let me see. Let me go back to it. She said it wasn't appropriate. He said it was entirely appropriate. You just don't believe in informed consent. What's appropriate about, like, hey, I think it's a waste of my time. It's no point in coming over without some sex. What's appropriate about that? Informed consent. Wait, is that? Maybe I'm misremembering the definition. Let me look up informed consent. Informed consent is the process by which a healthcare provider or researcher educates a patient about the risk, benefit, and alternatives of proposed treatment or procedure. It ensures the patient has information needed to make a voluntary, autonomous, and educated decision about their care. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, did he talk about, I'm going to be as best faith as I can and say that colloquially people might use informed consent. Nah, I'm not. I can't see the translation. Well, no, I can. Maybe when he says informed consent, maybe he is talking about like letting you know that he wants to have sex early on. Like, I'm trying my best to understand what informed consent mean in this comment, y'all. That's like the best I can do. You just don't believe in informed consent. Yeah, I have no response because I literally don't know how to interpret it. Like, I don't. But I think people do believe in informed consent in the way that he's using it in his sentence. People just like may not like being reduced to their sexual parts. And even if you might take scraps and believe that that is amazing in a masterclass in consent and see nothing wrong with it, other people might not. Let my friend come to me with a voice memo like this, and I say that's a masterclass in consent. What an admirable guy for giving you a chance. Like the bar is, I didn't rape you. I gave you a chance to say no. That's the bar. That is actually the bar. That is in fact the bar we are judging him by. Gave you a chance to consent to sex is the bar, as opposed to not giving you a chance to consent to sex. In which case it would not be sex, it would be, rape. Got it. That is in fact the bar. Let's continue. I don't see anything. I don't know. It just sounded to me like he wanted to know if there was a spark of chemistry between them before committing to long-term dating. Oh, like a spark of chemistry. Like when you have sex, it's like chemistry. Yeah, I can see that, because like when you talk to someone about like their personality and their interest, and like you tell jokes with them and laugh and share stories, like you're not really getting a feel for the chemistry between you. You really need to have sex with someone who feels unsure about it to see if the chemistry is there. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I don't think chemistry is the word. I don't think chemistry is the word. I think he wants to have sex, don't care if she's unsure about it, as long as she says the word yes eventually. And that's that. Like, I think he probably has a lack of sexual discipline or something. And so he like doesn't want to wait. I don't think it has anything to do with chemistry. If you there's something about the sex itself being the test of if there's chemistry that bothers me. Chemistry shouldn't be a question in this way. Am I misunderstanding? Like, I feel like the chemistry would be there and the sex would come after. The chemistry wouldn't be like, you said no, but like, let's test, let's see what it's like anyway. Like, I feel like y'all would be just vying for one another attention. Thank you, K Mary, for the 30 gems flower. I do appreciate it. I still don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I do appreciate it. 30 gems. Thank you. Cool. It sounded like if she wasn't going to hook up on the next date so he could see if he was compatible, then there was no point to getting to know her. Crazy. I thought the whole point of dating was to figure out if you like the person enough to see then if you wanted to take to the next step. The fact he doesn't want to proceed unless she promises they will reach that next step is the icky part. Who said he wants a serious relationship, though? A lot of y'all need to get out of La La Land and realize that there's a lot of people that don't mind casual sex. Oh, I didn't realize that's completely okay. Casual sex is fine. Yeah. He did put it on his profile, right? Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with casual sex, actually. Well, I do, but like in the context of this like conversation, I don't actually have a problem with people who want to have casual sex. Like, yeah, that's realistic. Some men and women want to have casual, no strings attached sex. I don't think that's the issue. The issue, like, not in your profile, not on your Tinder bio, Hinge bio, wherever you at. I'm gonna say Tinder. This isn't giving Hinge. This isn't giving Hinge. That's where it should have been, not in the first date, in my opinion, and then not after the first date when you didn't get a yes. The people against voice memo guy are conflating two things. This is the last comment, then I'm moving to her next one. He may be a horny asshole that only wanted to use the woman's body, but he didn't express that desire in a bad way. Huh? Wait, explain to me, how do you express in a good way that a woman is only worth what's between her leg and she's not really worth the time and effort outside of getting to use her body for sex, for his sake? He didn't even say that. He didn't even say their sake. He said this is for his sake. for his benefit, using your body, using a woman's body for his benefit. Tell me the good way to say it. Wait, he said he didn't express that desire in a bad way. So he thinks this is the good way to say it. Got it. I don't think there's a good way to say it, which is, of course, why I have a critique of the voice memo. Let's move to the next one.
Wait, you think this guy is a unique case for...
Like, I think voice note memo guy is fine, but he feels like a unique case for who places a lot of importance in sex in a relationship. I just think it's bad advice in general to men, because it's only a second date, and he even says, if the spelling ain't good enough for me to keep reading that.
Wait, you think this guy is a unique case for who places importance on sex?
No, I don't think he's a unique case. He sounds like every man.
Early on in a relationship? Are you serious? Are you aware that people fuck on the first date? Are you aware that people fuck without even going on a first date? Like, you know this, right? Like, you understand how incredibly common that is. Do you really think it's...
Wait, hold up. Am I mistaken? I could have sworn that it is actually becoming more and more uncommon. Like, I remember reading articles about how Gen Z is having less sex and less sex and less sex. Let me see. I don't think I can read this whole article. This is too much. Is Gen Z less horny? I don't know if we can read this on stream. I mean, just because they're having less sex doesn't imply that it's rare.
bad advice for men to state their sexual desires upfront in a safe way, putting space between them and their maybe potentially sexual partner so that they can honestly and safely respond. And
again, the voice memo in question, I'm not sure why she keeps, wow, so you guys think it's wrong for someone to be honest about their intentions? What? You think it's wrong for someone to say, hey, I'm looking for sex up front so that they can see if they're like compatible with your values? I don't know why she keeps saying that, because let's see. It's all the way up here. I gotta scroll. Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you're lovely. However, I would love to, if we're going to go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I'm looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm going to come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So like not even if we don't know if we're sexually compatible with each other, like not, the language is very much like self-centered. Doesn't really seem like, this doesn't seem like consent. Like this seems like I need to know if I'm gonna have a good time if I use your body. This doesn't really sound like a reciprocal thing. But let me just continue. Sorry, I should have just read it verbatim and commented after. Know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we are not going to like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like I think we should just like end it here then respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good. If that's not there or not, if that's not there or not. So up to you. Let me know. I'm happy to if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to F have a good time, and we could have some wine, hang out, and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know. Okay, got it. I shouldn't have typed it exactly. I should have like definitely. Oh, I should have definitely left out the ums and the uhs and the like. But yeah, that's what he said. It's definitely giving like, what use are you outside your body? To me, definitely not second date worthy. That's what that is. So let me know again. Confirm. I know you said no, but confirm. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's bad advice. I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Let me see what she was saying.
Putting space between them and their maybe potentially sexual partner so that they can honestly and safely respond and
Okay, that's why we were reading the voice memo, because I was like, wait, huh? Why is she saying, oh my God, all he did was like let you know up front and be honest about his intention? But we just read the voice memo, and that's not what it was giving.
even seek a way out before being put in any sort of like coercive and potentially dangerous physical situation. Do you really think that that's bad advice?
What would happen if they weren't sexually compatible? I'm trying to, I was going to like, sorry, like is in my vocabulary now. I was going to talk about sexual compatibility as it pertained to men talking about it, but I think I did last week. Like, I think men just want to have sex. I don't believe like when someone is saying sexual compatibility as a man that they're talking about anything fetishes, kinks, or like, I don't think that's what they're talking about. Did they talk about how they both feel about protection during sex, or using birth control options and which options to use if they were using them, and whether or not any of them have like incurable STD, and if they will get STD tested, and like how do they feel about if you do have something that's not curable, like how do you feel about being with someone like that? Do you think that's okay, or is that not? Like, do you think they had any of those conversations? Let me see, because actually that's very important. That's very important. Oh no, what happened? Okay, let me see. Compatibility. What would you be looking for if when it comes to like sexual compatibility? Like what does this mean? Let me do some research real quick. This requires research. Like I'm pretty sure I wrote notes on my, like I have a brief outline to refer to. And I'm pretty sure I wrote like something about sexual compatibility in particular. And this conversation was not giving sexual compatibility, because I threw the concept out because it was a man saying it, but I tried to be good faith and legitimately try to see like what would sexual compatibility mean? But I can't find it. Unfortunately, we will have to go without. We will have to go without. Oh, let me see. Nope, that's not it.
Really? Really? And okay, like let's go along with the narrative that it's a bad idea for a guy to state these intentions when it's only going to be a second date, right? Like maybe a lot of people feel like that's ridiculous. I can't believe this guy would want to have sex with a girl that he enjoyed the company of on a second date when the second date was going to be at the girl's house in the evening.
What does being at the girl house in the evening have to do with anything? Am I missing something? Oh, we already hashed this out earlier. What does it mean if someone invites you to their house, but they tell you they're not comfortable having sex? Does that mean like, oh yeah, he just expects to have it, so he needs to clarify? Is that what that means? Thank you for the super chat, Baby Fairy. I do appreciate it. Oh, and be sure to like on your way in. It does help the algorithm, and I do appreciate it. Sexual compatibility. He needs to see about sexual compatibility. Ain't nobody told me what sexual compatibility mean. I haven't seen none of y'all type it in the comments. I haven't seen it in, well, she turned the comments off on this one. I have not seen anyone like describe what is sexual compatibility in any of these comments. So it makes me feel like, okay, this is just him saying he wants to have sex, but dressing it up. Mr. Honest, blunt, straightforward. I'm looking for that sexual compatibility. Will you have sex with me? I mean, is what that means, apparently.
But the dude communicated that in a safe way and gave her the opportunity to not follow through with it.
Again, he gave her the chance to say no to sex. Your options are she consent or the options are he give her the option to consent or he does not. Mind you, like I agreed earlier about safety for the first inquiry in particular, not voice memo, because that was after he asked already, but safety for asking someone for consent, I believe, over the phone, as opposed to, well, I don't believe you should be asking for consent over the phone, but seeing about expectations for whether or not you'll have sex, asking that over the phone, I think would feel more safe than being asked it in person. Agreed. But I'm not about to sit here and do some type of praise for someone who like presented the option of having sex or not, regardless of if it was in person or over the phone. That's what I think is what confuses me. Not only are people saying it was safer to have this over the phone, but that it's like admirable. And that's something I don't understand. What is admirable? Is it having the option to say no to sex? Is that in fact what he's receiving praise for? Is it for the people are talking about, and I was too, the safety from distance, right? So not just asking to have sex, but also you feeling safe to say no, or safer to say no, as opposed to someone being in person. Is the praise for someone making sure that you feel safe to say no? This is in fact the bare minimum, I believe. Make sure the person like can consent to sex. I don't consider feeling safe to say no as different from the consent conversation. I don't view these two things differently, because someone who doesn't feel safe to say no, this is like not actually consent. Someone mentioned coercion in the comment section. This would be coercion. Like what I mentioned earlier, if you feel like in danger or someone won't let you leave or you're cornered or you might be hurt if you don't agree with what this person wants to do with you. This is like not someone pointing a gun at your head and saying, put the money in the bag, is not in fact giving you a chance to consent to putting the money in the bag. Like if you choose to put the money in the bag, that was not in fact you consenting to put the money in the bag just because you were not physically forced to do so. So giving her a chance to be safe is in fact not a different conversation. This is still, she had the option to say no to sex. We are in fact looking at a man who gave someone the option. I don't like the phrasing of gave someone the option. Someone who asked for consent, as opposed to not asking for consent and having non-consensual sex or rape. That's our bar. Got it.
That's really like so commonly like creepy to people. Like, why would he ask for sex on the second date? Then, you know, he's going to have a hard time maintaining a second.
Oh, maybe people find that creepy because, I don't know, a Roe v. Wade is gone. People might find that creepy because like pickup artistry and manosphere content is dominating not just the media sphere, but men and boys media sphere in particular. And this sort of extreme form of pickup artistry that's always been around has been and remains men's dating strategy about not being upfront, for example, or putting when you want sex only or early on your profile and instead waiting to spring it on someone because you know they won't match with you otherwise. These are in fact part of the men's dating strategy, like being ambiguous and not upfront and then waiting until you've built a connection to spring it on them when you feel they're less likely to say no. Or being disingenuous about your intention to have sex with someone and then like leave or not be interested in like long term, but not be upfront about that. That's like a very common strategy. So when you have someone saying, I'm just looking for that physical connection and I don't know if you're worth seeing out if I don't get that by the second date, like, yeah, I can see why some people would feel disgusted with that, given that this is like men's dating strategy. Oh, I just need to see if we're sexually compatible. I guess we're not. Thanks for having sex with me though. I'll text you at 3 a.m. 2 weeks from now. Like that might be why we as a wise person once said, we didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. We live within the context.
Date with anyone, and hopefully he continues to be upfront about his intentions so that women do not get coerced into an unsafe situation.
I mean, yes, I hope that people are not like rape through coercion either. Like coercive rape is rape. So I hope that too. I hope he continues not raping. Like, yeah, that, but I'm still disgusted. Like, are these the only two options?
I'm so tired of y'all trying to create a narrative.
Okay, I don't praise him for being honest in this situation. No, he basically gave her an ultimatum. Agree. Honesty is a bare minimum quality. Agree. So I don't know why so many people are impressed by it. In some small sense, there is and that's it. Even if it was an ultimatum, so what? Ew. Let me let her play before I read comments.
That this was an ultimatum. I'm so tired of y'all trying to create a narrative that this was an ultimatum. Their lives were not entangled in any way, shape, or form.
Wait, what part of the word ultimatum or the definition say that your life have to be entangled for an ultimatum to exist?
Entangled in any way, shape, or form. They hadn't even been on 5 fucking dates. They probably weren't even exclusive. Everyone is trying to simplify everything that this dude said. Well,
the voicemail, like, yeah, so outside of your body though. So the people who are, or a person in this case, the person who is in fact like simplifying what he said is her. The people who are expounding on not only the original context of the video, of the voice memo that she chooses to leave out because it makes him look bad, but also adding a sort of societal context, right? Like what I just said about men dating strategy as a general matter and how women might experience men generally who want sex upfront quickly and who use language like, oh, I just want a physical connection and I just want sexual compatibility and I just need it early on, like since 18 all the way up to the 30s and 40s. Like at this point, people are aware that this is something that happens commonly in dating. So people are adding context, not simplifying things.
That this voice note went on just a little too long. He was incredibly detailed about what he wanted and why he wanted it.
What he wanted and why he wanted it. All right, here we go. I'm going to play his voice memo. I'm about to put it on a faster speed because I'm tired of listening to it. I want y'all to tell me in the comments, please, I'll be taking notes as well. I want you to tell me, let me see what she said one more time.
Detailed about what he wanted and why he wanted it.
He's being extremely detailed about what he wanted and why he wanted it. Okay, so let's go back to his voice memo and let me go ahead and pull out my notes app I want us to see what the details are. He's being extremely detailed about what he wants and why he wanted it. So we're looking for what he wants. I think we'll be able to get that one, guys, and why he wants it. All right.
Had a good time tonight. Definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're gonna go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm gonna come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there or not. So up to you. Let me know. I'm happy to if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to have a good time, and you know, we can have some wine, hang out and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know.
Okay, first question. What does he want? I'll give y'all 10 seconds. No, it's not romantic at that point. Hey, just confirming our sex appointment is still on. Got it. Going once. I don't see any comments yet. So maybe I'll move on to why does he want it? I think he wants, let me see. Let me read what I wrote. He wants sex. He wants to see if he's sexually compatible, make sure that they can have sex and make sure they're having sex if he comes over. He wants to make sure that they're going to be intimate and cuddle and intimacy and have sex. And he wants to be sure they're having sex when he comes over so they can have sex. Okay. Well, I have my what down. I have my what. He wants bodily friction. Yeah. I'll take it. Okay. So now we can go to the next question. Why does he want it? Somebody tell me, why does he want it? She said he was extremely detailed in his what and his why. He was not very detailed in his what, but he was very repetitive. I don't know if people think that talking for a very, very long time means that what you're saying is detailed. That is not the case. It was very much, I want sex, I want sex, I want sex, I want sex. I want to make sure I'm sexually compatible. I want to make sure for my sake that we have sex and that I have sex and sex and sex. Got it. Why did he say? To see if we're sexually compatible, to see if there's that romantic spark, the romantic spark that comes from someone saying no and you asking them again or telling them that you'll leave. And then they reluctantly say yes. And then you get to see like the romantic spark or something like that. So this does not seem very detailed. It just seems like a vague nothing. I want to have sex to see if we can have sex, to see if we'll have sex, and then if it'll be good. Because let me see what he said. Because he doesn't know what the point would be coming over, and he doesn't really tell us why. He just tells us what. I want to have sex. If not, then I'll leave because I need to have sex early in a relationship. So the why is because he needs to have sex early in a relationship, essentially. Because ain't nobody defined sexual compatibility to me for me to give it to him. Let's continue.
Too long. He was incredibly detailed about what he wanted and why he wanted it. Did everything get worded perfectly? No. But was he very clear? Yeah. I encourage people to communicate that directly with people that they see potential partnership with. I also think y'all need sex and relationship education. Maybe some fucking therapy, maybe a little less time at the church.
I hate when somebody is yelling at me the thing that they need. but they're saying I need it. I dislike that a lot. It upsets me. If you see anything wrong with a man telling you you're not worth a second date without some pussy, you need therapy. You need help. And you need better views around sex. Period.
I don't know. Y'all sound like an amalgamation of all of the priests from the most conservative religions available on this planet. Truly, like, it's so... Y'all ain't ready for this conversation yet, but if you really want to talk about predatory and not...
Wait, the people who are saying... Wait, let me see what she said. This is the 103-minute mark.
I'm so tired.
I don't praise him for being honest. He gave her an ultimatum. Honesty is a bare minimum, so I don't know why people are impressed by it. Huh? Is that giving like conservative purity culture? Hey, giving a one like consent for having sex is like the bare minimum, and I don't think we should praise the man for it. Is that giving conservative? What's giving conservative is a man who wanted to use somebody's body as a sexual object, and the woman come behind him and defend him and say, I don't know why y'all women are mad at what he said. Y'all need therapy. That seems conservative to me, except the therapy part, because they don't like that.
Tired of y'all trying to create a new relationship. I'm at the church. I don't know. Y'all sound like an amalgamation of all of the priests from the most conservative religions available on this planet. Truly, like, it's so... Y'all ain't ready for this conversation yet, but if you really want to talk about predatory and non-consensual behavior, let's discuss how that girl decided to bring this voice note to social media without that dude's consent when she could have simply just ghosted him. He did nothing.
That's what I was waiting for. Actually, women, you're the problem. When a man tells you you're nothing but pussy and not worth much outside of that, at least not for more than one date, and you find that disgusting and you show us, you're actually the problem. Did you know? Maybe it is. I didn't think about that. Maybe this is projection. I'm failing to see her thought process to get here. And I'm really trying to understand, because his voice note is giving ultimatum, it's giving transactional, it's giving very standard manosphere red pill patriarchy. Posting that does not seem like predatory, especially given like he's anonymous and not identifiable. No, you don't need to get married by the second date, Penelope. You just need to have sex. I don't know why y'all talk about married. He did not say that's what he's looking for. That is not what he said. Be sure to leave a like on your way in, by the way. It does help out the algorithm.
Nothing wrong to her. He communicated clearly with her, gave her nothing wrong, just ghosted him. He did nothing wrong to her.
Yes, he did. He referred to her as a sexual object, not worth his time, past the first date.
Communicated clearly with her, gave her a clear out. She could have just ghosted him, but instead she chose to bring him to the worldwide internet without his fucking consent. And that's my final word on that. Y'all are weirdos.
All right, ladies, you heard her. Let me know when y'all get therapy and fix that. The next time a man disrespect you and you bring it to the internet, I need you to remember you a predator. And you're creating rape culture, but also purity culture. Does she know him in real life? So I heard this take on TikTok today that these people are like this in real life. And although I'm usually envisioning a man, like, it is not impossible for a woman to be like pushy or disrespectful in the way that voice memo guy was. So I think Cat Black or someone said that like these people are like this in real life, and maybe that's why they defend it so hard.
I'm so tired of y'all trying to create.
No, thank you. I prefer finding an emotional connection before introducing physical intimacy into any relationship. Thank you for your honesty and good luck in your search. No, that's not what she should have said. She should have said, no, thank you. I'm not really interested in your dick. I don't see a point in going out on a second date if you won't be bringing your wallet, because I'm looking for that financial compatibility to make sure that we have that sort of wallet intimacy. So if we're not going to be getting DoorDash ordered, like, I just don't see a reason for you to come over. And mind you, even that would be better than what he said, because you're talking about inanimate object, like a wallet and money, instead of like someone humanity. Like, no, now why would you sit there and, no, thank you, sir. I'm interested in an emotional compatibility. Although I do appreciate your, why would you sit there and do that? As opposed to, what are you worth outside of your wallet, sir? I didn't want a second date if there wasn't money involved. And especially not if there, like, why would I respond to his message with grace? That don't make sense. Is that how they hear his message? The way that they just wrote that message for her to say back, is that how they hear him? Like, he's just politely, oh, I'm just interested in physical connection. So if that's not what you're into, then that's fine. And good luck. Is that how they read like what he said? Girl, I can't even read that word. All right.
A narrative that this was.
Let's move forward. She didn't do anything wrong by posting the voice memo. She didn't share his name or any details about him. If he did nothing wrong, what's the problem with her posting it, madam? She posted it to educate men. This behavior is a turnoff. You want sex, go pay for it. Period. Aunt Vera Warren. Okay. Go fight him in the comments.
Wait, y'all's reaction to the voice note guy is kind of concerning.
Upfront communication is a major component to ending rape culture. Agree. What does somebody reducing you to your body parts got to do with ending rape culture? This is what I meant earlier in the video when I said it feels like they are creating a reality in their head that did not happen in the voice memo. I won't say that. I was gonna, I won't talk about trauma too much, but I'm trying to understand if there's like, maybe there's a way trauma shapes your view on what is appropriate and not appropriate to receive. Like, maybe people think that less than stellar treatment, like poor treatment, like objectifying treatment, is completely acceptable and admirable, because like maybe they're grading on a curve and they've experienced something just so terrible that someone being like, the bar being on the ground seems like really amazing because like the last bar was actually in hell. But I won't speculate. I'm not a mental health professional to be making that assertion.
Do y'all realize that a lot of people like to have sex? Y'all know this, right? Like, a lot of people probably.
Again, mischaracterizing the voice memo and people's discourse around it. People are not upset at sex. People are upset at being reduced to a sexual object who's not valuable outside of what's between your legs. Excuse me, not valuable past one date, like a 2-hour night together. But after that, like, you're pushing it. I think that was the issue.
At least half of the human population enjoys having sex and wants to have sex on a first date, or not even have a first date and have sex. Y'all realize this, right? I need you to confirm to me that you know that this is a part of reality. But because we
maybe she's doing this intentionally. This feels like a straw man. Wow, so you guys think sex is bad or something? Is that the argument? the argument seemed more about how transactional it was, how she already declined and he circles back to ask again after someone gave him an answer to try to see if they'll change it to a yes, which I have a problem with it. Reluctant yes. Maybe she doesn't, maybe the people in her comments don't, but trying to change a no or a maybe, or not even a maybe, I don't know, into a shaky yes, reluctant yes, I see a problem with. Maybe that's something people are having an issue with. I have not seen any discourse on this. No amount of, like, not in her comments, not on TikTok, people stitching or giving their take. I have not seen any critique of Voice Memo Guy that is critiquing people wanting to have sex, or even people wanting to have sex on the first or second date.
Live in puritanical society. Most people that enjoy sex and want sex are...
Here's a comment that caught my eye before we finish this video. Didn't he acknowledge in the voice note that she already said she wasn't sure? He's pushing for a clear yes or no. Shouldn't he just take her I don't know as a no instead of sending the note he did? Before I read the reply, yes, he should take I don't know as a no. He should not take I don't know as an invitation to push for sex again, but with an ultimatum. The reply, no, because an I don't know isn't a no. And requesting clarification isn't coercion. Y'all, what is it if somebody says, I don't know about having sex, or I don't know if I feel comfortable with this, or this is moving too fast, I just don't know if I'm ready for this right now? Like, what does it mean if someone is expressing that they are unsure about having sex, and then you say, are you sure, because I'm gonna leave if you don't? No, not are you sure. Let me see. He said clarification. What is it about somebody saying that, saying, I don't know about having sex, I don't know if I'm ready for this, is moving too fast, that make you say, okay, you need to clarify, do you want to have sex or not? I'm confused about why he's saying I don't know isn't a no, and further clarification is needed. Yes, anything other than an enthusiastic yes is a no. Not a I need to see if you're sure, like if you really meant no, or when you said I don't know about this, did you mean something else? Like, I'm very confused about this. I'm very confused about what options are presented in this man's mind, and I guess in people's mind, in particular in her comment section, who tend to agree with her. When somebody says they don't know about having sex, are unsure or are uncomfortable with having sex, but they don't directly say the words "no," I'm not sure. How are you taking this to where you need clarification about whether or not this was a yes or no? Like, what other way would you take it? No, because I don't know isn't a no, and requesting clarification isn't coercion. It is coercion, by the way, if you tell somebody you're unsure about or uncomfortable with having sex, and they make you answer yes or no before they take that answer. And like, instead of accepting I don't know as this person is not consenting to sex, they push. That is in fact like coercion, I believe, definitionally. Like, haven't y'all, let me see, what is it? It's like 49 yeses, 49 no's, and 1 yes is a no. This always catches my eye. Let me see. Because this consent conversation happens like on Facebook or somewhere old. I only use old people's social media, where like it'll be this picture, and the picture will be like 49 no's and 1 yes means a no, implying that if a woman says no to you and you keep asking and she says no and no and no, and eventually she gives in and says yes, this is not in fact consent. You should not take this as consent. You trying to break someone's wall down after they clearly decline you, in the hopes of getting something else, is not in fact consent. And this sparks a debate like on the internet every time it pops up, because apparently men believe that that last yes is in fact a yes and not a no, which is a problem for me. but I can't find the image. Let me see. If I heard I don't know, I wouldn't make any moves until I clarified what was unknown. It could be an I don't know if I'm ready for that. Wait, but she did say I don't know if I'm ready for that before he sent the voice memo. Am I tripping? Again, why are they pretending like the voice memo does not say what the voice memo says? I wouldn't make any moves until I clarify what was unknown. This implies to me that he feels like there's a the implication I'm getting is that if he receives an unsure yes after he has already received unsureness about someone who is unsure about having sex, he would consider that a yes. And he doesn't consider the unsureness as a no, which is a problem for me. Let me see. If I heard I don't know, it could be an I don't know, I'm not, if I'm ready for that. Which you wouldn't need to wait for either. That doesn't make sense because, as you said, you're ready to have sex. She said she is unsure if she's ready to have sex. It sounds like you need to go and find someone who's sure they're ready to have sex, and there's no clarification needed here. So I'm not sure why he would say, "Oh, I need to see if she's if I don't know means I'm not ready for that." He says, "I don't know if I want that." Or I said, I don't know, but I really meant to say it. But I really meant no, but couldn't say it in person because I'm worried it would be taken badly. Or I said, I don't know, despite meaning no, because I have difficulty saying no and expect you to read between the lines. There are many ways to interpret it, and I don't know is a pause and check in. Everything that he just said is her saying no to sex, but feeling unsure about it, or too scared to say it in person. I'm very confused about his comment because he said he needs clarification on what I don't know means, because I don't know could mean I am not ready for that, or I said I don't know, but I meant no, but I was worried that you would take it badly, or I said I don't know, but I meant no because I have difficulty saying no and expect you to read between the lines. Everything he just said is no. Like, it feels like he implicitly knows that the person is declining consent with him, and at the very least soft declining. If you don't believe I don't know is not a no problem, but soft declining at the very least, soft declining. And he straight up says everything that means no in his sentence. He needs clarification for no, but the only things he's listing is no. So I don't understand this. Like, I don't know how to articulate what I'm thinking here, or if I'm communicating it well, but like, I guess I'll just move forward because I'm finding a hard time putting it into words.
Are not as bold to ask for it as directly. So instead, do you know what they do? They manipulate, coerce, and guilt people into having sex with them. They are not upfront about their sexual preferences.
Before she finishes this, surely what she's not going to say is that when women are upset at a man saying on the first date, second date, that he wants to have sex with them or they're not worth his time to come over past the first date, hopefully what she's not going to say is when women reject men who want sex up front, this is what creates the need for men to lie and manipulate women. Surely she's not going to say women declining consent is what creates men's the culture where men have to like circumvent that consent. Hopefully that's not the take she's going to have, but let's see.
And they participate in and perpetuate rape culture. Do y'all understand that if you do not accept that a lot of people, again, at least half of the human population enjoys and wants sex, that you are also perpetuating rape culture? If you do not
Got it. Yeah, people are okay with having sex. Sure, cool. His voice memo though, and the whole what his time's not worth, and it's not worth not having sex with you. Like, I'm very confused about the use of rape culture in this conversation, because unless I'm understanding something like grossly wrong, the only thing about rape culture in this voice memo discourse would be voice memo guy and his entitlement to her body early. And I believe it's entitlement because he is giving the ultimatum of the relationship for this, as well as telling her that, like, it's something, his language gives entitlement to me. That gives rape culture, as well as the women who are defending him and attacking the woman. The only attack this woman has made towards the voice memo people is towards the woman. And the woman isn't even the one who shared the voice memo. I think it was her friend who shared it. So yeah, people not upset at sex. You think she's rape baiting? Did I get baited? Let me listen. Let me see if it sounds like rage bait. Because, like, it's actually pissing me off. Like, it feels like she's attacking a straw man because it's difficult to make the argument when she actually uses the context in the language and the implications that are within the voice memo itself. So instead, she just creates this, like, wow, y'all are upset at people for wanting sex. Sounds like you're perpetuating rape culture, actually. I don't know. It feels very reductive, not very accurate of the situation or the discourse around it. So maybe it is rage bait.
Insist that people openly communicate about their sexual desires and preferences as soon as they possibly can in the safest manner possible. That
Got it. Communicate early. Put it on your profile. Instead of springing it on someone on the first date after you try to get them to connect with you and feel chemistry, and then you spring it on them, put it in your profile that you want it up front. To be safe and as early as possible, she says.
you are perpetuating rape culture, wanting to build up tension without communicating that you like to build tension before sex, expecting for the vibe to be on without communicating that you like the vibe to be on before having sex, is a perpetuation of rape culture. Communication.
Wait. Telling someone on the first date, hey, I want to see if we have chemistry before we have sex. This feels like almost, this feels like we can apply some sort of reasonable man standard here. Like, what would a reasonable person expect as far as before having sex? Would they expect to make sure that there's chemistry? As opposed to, no, I don't really need chemistry to have sex with you. Or I don't know, that seems like something that would naturally come throughout the date, not like something that you have to explicitly say. But if y'all want to go on the first date and say, hey, I like building tension and chemistry, knock yourself out. I won't stop you. That just seems like something that would happen. And through that happening, like, there wouldn't be a voice memo talking about, like, hey, by the way, we need to have sex on the second date. Let me know. Ball's in your court. Just give him a list. Yeah, give him a list.
And is absolutely necessary when you are building any type of relationship with someone, even if it's just casual. Even if you have feelings for that person, but sex is a component of building that relationship that you think is important. You have to communicate that stuff. Also, I need to confirm something else. Y'all do realize that the enjoyment of and the prioritization of sex is not like based on a singular gender, right? Like, men like to have sex, women like to have sex, non-binary.
I think we can, like, apply some gender specific stuff here, in particular as it pertains to whether or not a gender, for example, have the right to control what happened with their body. Like, I think there is context, gender specific context for why people may or may not want sex. And if they do want sex, why they may or may not be hesitant to have sex early on or on the first, second day or at all. I think there is going to be some gender specific context here. There may be gender specific context around one particular gender objectifying the bodies of the other gender. Like, that might be context that's relevant to this conversation, I believe. Yeah, this isn't about sex positivity. What's sex positive about? What are you outside of your hole for me to come on a second date? What would it be worth? Nothing. So let me know if you're giving that up front. What's sex positive about that? You want to talk about gender specific? I've never heard anything more gender specific than that voice memo. You guys know women like sex too. Yes, now that voice memo though.
Of sex is not like based on a singular gender. Y'all do realize that the enjoyment of and the prioritization of sex is not like based on a singular gender.
The prioritization and importance of sex. Did we not just read about the orgasm gap last week? Like, men prioritize sex. There is a specific gendered, there are gendered differences between who prioritizes sex and who, let me see what she said
Something
exactly.
else in that you have to communicate stuff. Also, y'all do realize that the enjoyment of and the prioritization of sex is not like based on a singular gender.
It may not be based on a singular gender insofar as like there is a biological something, but as far as culture and like a practical sense, the orgasm gap is orgasm gapping. And what it seems like is men prioritize men's enjoyment in sex, and men find sex more enjoyable than women. Let me see. Scientific sexism, socialization. So I'm reading the Wikipedia for orgasm gap, and I'm trying to see the specific part, because men and women have different socialization when it comes to something like sex, and like different reality exists, which may, even if like biologically there's not necessarily something that make women like wait for sex as opposed to men, and both men and women can want sex very early on in a relationship. Socially and culturally, like, we live in a society, so to say, we live within the context, as someone said, and didn't fall out of coconut tree. There might be political reasons why women might not want to have sex generally across the gender in the United States, may have a general attitude around sex that is less enthusiastic than men do. There may be something to do with like, well, we could say orgasm, right? We didn't already said a bunch on this stream. It may be something to do with the orgasm gap and the fact that, like, not only is a anecdotal reality for women that they may not be prioritized during sex, and sex therefore may not be like something that they're as eager to do when it feels like the men pleasure is prioritized, if that orgasm gap is anything of an indicator. Like, I feel like to summarize and not be like as detailed, or not detailed, lengthy, and like rambly, there's a gender difference for sex. This feels like very obvious. Maybe the reason I'm like having difficulty voicing myself is because like this seems like something that is incredibly obvious. Like, even just the risk around having sex, like becoming pregnant or getting STD, is more risky for women in particular, are more likely to contract something than men. Like, there are gender differences.
on a singular gender, right? Like men like to have sex, women like to have sex, non-binary folk like to have sex, trans people like to have sex. Like everyone enjoys sex. This is not like gender specific. The tropes of who gets to express their desires for sex is sexist. It's misogynistic. I'm really worried about you guys.
This has to be rage bait, actually. This last 2 seconds, like I was about to pause and talk, but then this last 2 seconds like made me feel like this is rage bait, actually. I don't think this is like a real thing. Do y'all think this is like a real take from her? That actually made me like unsure a little bit. It's like the condescending endings that I keep repeating. I hate when somebody's sarcastic and they're wrong. Like y'all remember I keep saying that in every video. I hate when somebody confident and wrong. I hate when somebody condescending and wrong. I feel like this little thing at the end of the video of like, hope you guys are okay. You guys need some therapy. Wow, you guys are a little misogynistic, huh? While we're talking about a man who don't value a woman outside of some pussy. It's something about that. It's something about this laugh in particular that just snapped me out of it. Like, I think this is actually rage bait.
Yesterday, I made this video, and despite so many of you being offended that this guy wanted to talk about sex with the person that he was casually dating, a lot of you actually want to talk about it. I just don't think you really know how to. Let's talk about some of the common complaints and arguments that I received, because a lot of you understood what I was saying. A lot of you agreed. While a lot of you value and understand communication and transparency in the act of dating, a disturbing amount of you don't understand that at all, are against it, and are also
Okay, I think this is more rage bait. She's just gonna say the same thing we just read. Whoa, you guys don't like consent and upfront honesty, and we just gonna leave out like somebody devaluing your humanity. Damn, knock my water bottle down. Somebody devaluing your humanity. I think she's gonna leave all that out. Let's move on. We nearly 3 hours in. This was like a 30-minute stream, y'all. We've not made it through one creator. Okay, this will just be the last one. I feel like I'm being repetitive as well. So, like, what more is there to say at this point? I feel like we're living in a different reality. Like, I don't know how to explain their interpretation of the voicemail.
Voice note 5 times now, and what I've heard is that I have listened to that voice note 5 times now, and what I've heard is that man is a bit of a loser, not a monster, not a predator, not a criminal, just a loser. I appreciate.
All right, we get the notepad. Let me see. Well, let's do one more refresher. Since this is the last one we'll review, because it's getting late out there and y'all have work tomorrow. And I have vacation tomorrow. Oh, I mean, well, I hope you guys have a good time at work. Sorry, but I will get y'all out of here quick. I do apologize for the lengthy video. I was rambling too much.
Had a good time.
But it's very important for us before we continue to understand the context which in the coconut tree that we fell out of.
I definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're gonna go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am sexually compatible with you. So like if I'm gonna come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have sex, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm sexually compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there or not. So up to you. Let me know. I'm happy to, if you do want me to come over, I'm happy to do so. Would love to have a good time, and you know, we can have some wine, hang out, and chill. But if you're not trying to hook up, then like I think we should just go our separate ways. Let me know.
All right, now that we have the context in, now that we have our refresher.
I have listened to that voice note 5 times now, and what I've heard is that that man is a bit of a loser. Not a monster, not a predator, not a criminal, just a loser. I appreciate other people's perspectives. It's how we learn. I want to learn from this, and I don't like disappointing people. So I'm trying to see what y'all are seeing. But the way you're talking to me, not working with me. Because I heard the voice memo. And this idea that he's some violent manipulator because he is a clumsy loser, it's just not clicking for me.
What is this infantilization of grown-ass men? What is this? I don't think we got to the autism comments yet. But like, what is this sort of, oh my God, he's literally a little boy who just has trouble speaking and stringing together words. Like, you've never had trouble with getting out what you want to say in the right way? You've never made a mistake? He's literally just a boy. He's a 40-year-old boy. Why are we expecting so much from this child? What is going on here? Oh my God, he was clumsy. He stumbled over his words. But that man is no predator. Yeah, let's just let her finish. Because she talks less flagrantly than the other creator, so I can have more patience.
One thing we can all agree on is that he did say, if you do not want to be intimate with me at this date, then we will not continue seeing each other. I just don't see why we would do that. We want different things here. And that absolutely can't.
Wait, is that what he said? Let me hear it, run it back.
He did say, if you do not want to be intimate with me at this date, then we will not continue seeing each other. I just don't see why we would do that. We want different things here. And that
Wait, he didn't say, I don't know why we would do that because we want different things. He said it would be a waste of my time. And for his sake, he needs to see it about having sex with her. Like, I think her retelling of the story, I think is more accurate than the white woman who we just looked at. But again, she's leaving out details and inserting she is inserting language that changes the context of the voice memo, I believe. Like, even just the fact that she's saying we at all to see if we're, I don't think we're compatible and we should see other, like, even just we, his language was very much me. He wants to see, I want to see if I'm sexually compatible with you, not if we're sexually compatible. I want to see about this for my sake, not for like anything other than that. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was not saying we. It was definitely not like a reciprocal conversation about like sexual intimacy early into the relationship, but
want to be intimate with me at this date, then we will not continue seeing each other. I just don't see why we would do that. We want different things here. And that absolutely can fall under the definition of coercion, but it also is what happens at the end of a date if you are not compatible. And I'm not really sure what we wanted the path forward here to be. He wasn't angry.
What we wanted the path forward here to be. Hey, earlier you said you weren't comfortable with having sex right now, and that's fine, but I am the type to want to have sex on the first date or at the very latest the second, and I don't want to pressure you, and I don't want you to like change your unsure to a yes for like the sake of appeasing me. So I think we should see other people. Like, am I tripping? Is that simple? Is that respectful? Like, you said you were unsure, nothing wrong with that, but I think that I don't want to have sex with someone who's unsure. And like, even if you change your answer to a yes, like it feels like the part where you see if you're compatible has already passed. As he said earlier that day, she ain't give no enthusiastic yes. It sounds like he's already beyond the point of asking for a yes. Like, there is no need for that. Unless he just wants to like devalue her and say, oh, you're not worth my time without sex, just letting you know. So let me know.
Or sad or frustrated or manipulative. He was just like, hey man, you invited me to your house and I just want to be clear, I'm gonna want to smash. If you don't want to do that,
there is that. You invited me to your house. Anyway. Hey, you invited me to your house. I want to be clear. I want to smash. the associating of inviting someone to your house, specifically for a woman inviting someone to her house, being that they're going to have sex, and it needs to be something that needs to be cleared up or clarified right now, despite just earlier the same day saying unsure, don't know about that, is unusual to me. I'm surprised to see this take like about her inviting him to the house like all over everywhere on TikTok.
We shouldn't keep doing this because this is what I want in a relationship, and you don't, then you don't. As somebody who does value intimate compatibility in a relationship, I can see why he feels the way he feels, but the way he went about it makes him a loser. Okay, it just does. But being a bit of a loser doesn't make you a monster or a predator. And while he might be a criminal mastermind cooking up schemes on how he can use this as evidence to justify assaulting this girl down the line, he also might just be a loser who wanted this.
He might just be a poor guy. Just an awkward fellow. Socially awkward. Stumbling over his words. Guys, he's not a monster. He's a boy. A 40-year-old boy. Can't we have some grace?
Thing out of a relationship and went about it in a really clumsy way, and we all got our hands on it. And maybe we shouldn't have.
I don't want to see you unless we having sex. What would be the point of wasting my time? Why are they sanitizing this? Hey, I'm interested in sex, and like if you're not, that's fine. But let's see. Why are they sanitizing his language? Like, this is really upsetting me. Even if you change the language, can you at least keep the original message of the voice memo? Like, can you keep the same sentiment? Can you keep what he's trying to convey accurate? Including the objectification, including that part, including the you're a waste of my time, like including that. Excuse me, what would be the point in coming over? The waste of my time is implied. Sorry, he doesn't say waste of my time directly. Like, why are...
Add that. Now, honestly, he should have dipped after the first time. He was like, this means a lot to me. Do you want to do this? And she said anything less than an enthusiastic yes. That was his cue to go, as opposed to...
Wait. Oh, no, let her finish.
To putting himself in this little box where he was going to be forced to make an ultimatum or put himself in a situation to pressure this girl. But him...
Huh? Wait. Huh? Doesn't this like contradict what she just said, or am I tripping? Oh, instead, since she didn't give an enthusiastic yes when he asked for consent, he should have ended things right there instead of like putting her in this box with an ultimatum. But like right before this, oh, he's not coercive or anything like that or manipulative. It's just like, yeah, where he would have been forced. Anyway, excuse me. It feels unusual for you to describe the manipulation immediately after you say there was none. The coercion immediately after you say there was none. The circumventing someone's declining of sex to try to get a yes. Even after they already said, after they already declined. Like, I wasn't expecting her to actually describe that, given like the first part of the video is about how this has nothing to do with him being a monster or coercive or manipulative or anything like that. And he's just simply a boy, a child who just doesn't know how to talk and needs some grace and empathy.
Poorly executing a conversation to get himself out of the box that he put himself in makes him a loser, in my opinion. Not a...
The box that he put himself in. Let me see.
This means a lot to me. Do you want to do this? And she said anything less than an enthusiastic yes. That was his cue to go, as opposed to putting himself in this little box where he was going to be forced to make an ultimatum or put himself in a situation to pressure this girl. But him poorly executing a conversation to get himself out of...
Wait, is she suggesting that he accidentally put himself in a box where he would have to give her an ultimate? Huh? Oh my God, he accidentally like put himself in a position to pressure her for sex. And the poor guy didn't even realize it. My goodness.
the box that he put himself in makes him a loser, in my opinion, not a monster or would-be criminal. And y'all have got to stop talking to me like I'm stupid for having that opinion on a situation none of us, quite frankly, should be privy to. I have listened.
Oh, well, since she said it right there at the end, I won't say anything. She just told us not to. Okay, people need to learn how to separate the difference between this feels icky and this is morally reprehensible. I think it is like bad. I don't know if I would use the word morally reprehensible. I would. I don't know if you guys would use the word morally reprehensible, but like, yeah, after someone declines to have sex with you and then you like want to circle back the same day, like it not just that, but like the entire day, the entire voice memo, this thing on the first date, not putting it in his dating profile, probably because like most pickup artists or red pill or manosphere people say, if you put something like that up front, women would swipe on you and wouldn't like match with you, and you'd never get any matches. So you shouldn't put it in your profile, and you shouldn't wait. You should wait until you're dating to spring it on them once like they have a little bit of investment, so they'll be less likely to decline. We don't know that, but like that seems to be why most men don't put it on their profile. So he didn't put it on his profile. They're on the first date. He already wants sex in this no Roe v. Wade society, and says that it would be no point in seeing her without sex. Like what the value of her outside of her legs is not worth a second date. What part of this was like an awkward boy who is not a monster, not coercive, not manipulative, not pressuring her, but simply like accidentally like put himself in a position where he might be forced to give her an ultimatum and pressure her into having sex she doesn't want to have. Like he accidentally like tripped and fell himself in there in that box. Accidentally became a predator. And I think what the issue is when we look at people and try to call them oh, my comment got a like on TikTok. I forgot whatever sarcastic thing I was about to say. Something when we judge predators for being predators, we don't understand something about how they like accidentally make themselves predator, and we blame them instead of like, oh no, I didn't follow these people. Had to go and
I have listened to that
quick. Sorry, y'all. I'm not following these accounts. It ain't no reason why I should be following a page that I never hit follow on. So it's really important to me to go to them and hit unfollow. Now let's see. Demanding sex in order for the relationship to continue. In response to that, why is he obligated to continue this relationship? No one said he's obligated to continue the relationship. That's like a false dichotomy you're painting. That's not a argument that people are making, is that he should be obligated to continue the relationship. I think people are pointing out that asking for so early on seems like objectifying and seems like he doesn't really value this woman outside of her body. And also his language like is pretty transactional and disgusting and ultimatum like. I think that's what people are upset at, not like him not being forced to continue the relationship. Why are they making arguments that no one's making? I guess because it's easier to argue with a straw man. That's right. Being called a loser for wanting sex early in a relationship is crazy. Purity culture is truly frying y'all. Okay, I think I'm done at that point. I got nothing of any value out of this. If I'm being genuine with you guys, I think I received nothing of any value. I think I spent too much time arguing through my screen to the white woman when we could have got through a lot more. And now we're at the 3-hour mark and we've barely gotten through 2 creators. I'm not sure about the comments on rape culture and purity culture or where they're coming from. In my mind, rape culture, for example, is like entitlement to her body, right? That feels like rape culture, not like her reaction to it. Or rape culture is when a man says, I don't see any value in you outside of your hole. So I know you already told me no today and that you're uncomfortable and you don't know if you want to move that fast. But I need you to tell me again. Otherwise, I don't know. Because like, if you're with a woman and ask for consent and she says, I don't know if I'm ready to have sex right now. Apparently that answer is too ambiguous, and you need to ask her again, because that's just too vague to know what it means. And pressuring her again after she says that, and telling her that it's a waste of your time to be there without using her whole. So like, you need to tell me no again and be clear, so I know not to waste my time. Apparently that is a masterclass in consent, an admirable good man. And any woman who has a problem with that is what's causing rape culture. I disagree, of course. That was sarcasm. I believe that rape culture is a man, before the first date even ends, asking you for permission to have sex with you. And when you decline, he demand that you reiterate your no instead of respecting it the first time. That's rape culture to me, implying that the answer of being unsure is anything but a no. That's rape culture to me. Rape culture is when a man reduces a woman to a sexual object and refers to hanging out with her as not worth his time, if he doesn't get any. And half of the internet defends him as not just defend him, but present him as an outstanding man because he didn't rape her. That's rape culture. Or women saying that the voice memo is disgusting, and men respond by saying, this is why men lie and rape, because if we tell you the truth about how little we value you outside of your whole, you would say no, so we lie instead. That's what I'm getting from this conversation. Rape culture, what would rape culture be? I don't know. A bunch of men in the comment section responding to this discourse by saying, what, so he's supposed to lie to her? In response to women feeling off-put, right, by this immediate objectification, which insinuate that the only two options as a man, according to them, is to be rude and objectify women, or to objectify them but lie about it to their face. Apparently are the only two options. Those are rape culture. I think rape culture is when a man say, I only want to use you for what's between your legs. I feel I'm being repetitive now. And I don't see a reason to waste my time on you. And then the response from the internet being to blame women for finding this distasteful, and saying that you ladies could learn a thing or two about consent. Y'all need to go to therapy and learn something about consent. Because apparently the women weighing in on this discourse, who are critiquing voice memo guy, are just too stupid or uninformed to know what consent is. Because clearly this man was a good example of it. I think, what else? Rape culture is him referring to, excuse me, reducing a woman to something between her leg. And we ignore this poor behavior and instead fabricate this new reality in our heads where, oh my God, all he did was say, hey, I had so much fun tonight, and I was interested in intimacy early on. And since you're not into that, that's totally fine. And I think we should see other people, but I really enjoyed your company. When in the real world, right, reality where we all exist, I hope, he refers to her company as like a waste of his time and not worth it if he's not getting any. That's what I think rape culture is. Rewriting his voice memo and his disgusting sexual behavior, or even the voice memo, towards a woman, and sort of, I don't know what the alternate to whitewashing would be. Sane washing or something. Sanitizing is what I used earlier. Sanitizing it to, oh, he was just being upfront about his expectations. That's rape culture. I think suggesting that the reason this man is degenerate in the way that he talks about her sexually is because he could have autism. I think that's rape culture, especially because that's like only an excuse I see men get, if I'm being honest. I think that's rape culture, like explaining his language away and his behavior away as being because he may have some sort of neurodivergence, or like just a difficulty with words, like that infantilization of what he's doing to remove the responsibility from a grown man and pretend he's a child who just like stutters over his words, or like a neurodivergent person who just he doesn't understand. Can't you see? He just doesn't understand. That's rape culture, I think. I think if a woman shares something disgusting that a man did, and people immediately run to the man's defense to provide like every possible explanation, for why he did what he did and why it's okay for him to do what he did and why it's innocent, and he just didn't realize why he was being rude. Because don't you misread signals sometimes? Don't you misspeak sometimes? I think that's rape culture. And what I need is I don't know if I asked my friend this, but I'm pretty sure, and I haven't got a response yet. I need y'all to tell me where on the autism spectrum, where do you have to be? Because I know it's a spectrum, right? Where on the spectrum do you have to be before you start saying, hey, if I ain't getting no pussy tonight, you ain't worth wasting my time on? I need to know which neurodivergent disorder is that, like, quickly. Which part is that? Because I understand it's a spectrum. I'm not going to deny that this man could be on the spectrum. I just need to know which part does that come from. I think it's blaming poor behavior on autism. I guess I discussed this with someone earlier, so I don't think I should say it, but I'll just say I don't think autism make you do that. I don't think it makes you suddenly in this one specific conversation after one date. And to be fair, like, we don't have context about the rest of his like date with her or anything that happened besides this voice memo. But I don't think autism suddenly make you disrespectful or reduce women to sexual object. And I do think that's like disrespectful to the spectrum of people. Like, for you to be unable to speak respectfully, I think requires, I don't know if a level of autism is the right phrase to use, but I believe this requires you being like I don't know if you're, no, I'll just table that. So let's move on from autism. That's what we'll do, because I don't have any type of license to be associating anything with autism or my thoughts, so I won't do that. But I do think like it would have to be a very severe form before we could use this excuse of mental health. I won't tell. Yeah. I think we'll just move on from autism. Or maybe we could talk privately in the Discord, and I can say what I was going to say. Let me circle back to that in a brief Discord call after. But saying that this man isn't the problem and that all women are because y'all don't understand consent, that's rape culture. The man isn't the problem, but women are, and they're like, I guess, heteronormative dating. That's rape culture. The man isn't the problem is women and their attachment to purity culture. That's rape culture. I think 1,500 women coming forward to share their stories about similar experiences and their disgust, and those women being met with like no, you're the problem, not him. Like, voice memo guy is actually cool. That's rape culture. I think that's what rape culture is. Or people saying that his message is fine and it's just his delivery is wrong, when his message is that he does not have value. Excuse me, she does not have value past the first date. Out if her pussy's not involved, so she needs to confirm consent in advance so that he doesn't waste his time. That's rape culture. It is. People saying that message is fine. It's not the message, it's the delivery. When that is the message, that's rape culture. I think they are intentionally missing the point when there's a critique, like valid critique of everything that I just mentioned, and the response is, whoa, sounds like you're perpetuating purity culture and shaming him because he wants sex. Like, it feels like either there's a comprehension issue in this topic, and the people who we reviewed, as well as people who share their views, don't have the range for this topic or don't have the capacity, can't engage with it. I don't know what's happening. Or like they're intentionally missing the point. I know the woman we just watched in particular, apparently there was some drama that I didn't get to explore more before this video, but there was some drama with, if I remember correctly, I don't want to butcher what happened. I believe she was in an abusive relationship and ended up leaving that man pregnant or she ended up leaving him while pregnant. She didn't impregnate him. She didn't leave him pregnant. My apologies. And she came to the internet, and I believe she mainly gave a defense of him. And then Cecilia Regina, maybe, if I remember right, like had a back and forth about women who come forward and defend abuser and infantilize them, humanize them, and like saying wash their abuse as to something smaller, like maybe an accident. Like I remember briefly exploring this discourse earlier today, though I didn't have as much time to get through it, to where it made it seem like this is like a consistent behavior for her in particular, the one that we just watched, like taking abuse or like just downright dastardly, let me look up dastardly, make sure I'm using it correctly, behavior, and make it seem like it's just boys, like, yeah, okay, I used it right. Make it seem like it's just boys like accidentally doing something. So that's I guess that's on brand for her. I don't know about that white woman though. Yeah, so I mean, if anyone wants to click the link, the panel is open if you would like to briefly give thoughts, but we are past 3 hours and I've been like rambling for a really long time, so my throat is about to give out. So I'll play the outro and we can have a brief like after show. And then if you would like to give your thoughts, please do come up. I miss you guys and would love to hear your voices. Oh, and be sure to leave a like if you're heading out before the after show. And have a good night and a good day at work tomorrow.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Been swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Swallowed up. Been swallowed up. Swallowed up. Swallowed up. Swallowed. Been swallowed up. Swallowed. Swallowed up. Swallowed. Been swallowed up.
Okay, I think I know what was wrong with this stream. Number one, I felt like the stream was unnecessary anyway. I don't believe this conversation warrants 3 hours of conversation. But number two, to piggyback on that, actually, it feels like this was not very analytical. It feels like the entire stream was just a correction. I don't feel like I really got to get into any meaningful, deep ideas because the entire stream just felt like them saying something, me pausing the video to say, wait, that's not what the voicemail said. The voice memo said, the voice memo said actually this. Like that feels like the entire stream feels like, what are they even talking about? That's not what the voice memo said. Here's what the voice memo said. And then continuing. Like it doesn't even feel like I really got to engage with the ideas because it was too corrective or something. But like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when they are not engaging with the voice memo at all. Like it would be one thing if they took the content of the voice memo and they played it and they shared their thoughts on why they don't believe this is coercion and why they believe this is simply being awkward. And then maybe I could have engaged with those ideas. But because everyone who was defending voice memo guy refuses to play the voice memo at all, like the whole thing or any parts of it at all, and refuse to be specific about what's happening. Do y'all remember last week when we were talking about estranged parents? And whenever we go to no contact kid TikTok, no contact kids are always very specific. Oh, I had a big fight with my mom and I tried to make up for it and she wouldn't apologize. And then over the years, I tried forgiving her, but her behavior just consistently is poor. And no matter how much I try to make up or sympathize, and now I just have, right? It's very detailed. They give us events, they give us specifics, they give us their feelings and thoughts, the behaviors, the phrases that their parents are using. Then we go over to estranged parent TikTok and everything is just vague. Just they cut me off because I wouldn't do every little thing that they asked. They cut me off because they were following a TikTok trend. Wow, so you want your parents to be perfect? Like they don't tell us any behavior. They don't tell us any details about the relationship. They don't tell us the exact things that are happening. They just give us this really vague, like, oh my God, my kids cut me off because they said that it was abusive to like, I don't know, to like not do every little thing that they say. Like, it's so vague. And that's what this felt like. It just felt like they were, oh, voice memo guy, like he just let them know about having sex up front with no details at all about the voicemail. No details, no quotes, nothing. So it doesn't feel like they really had ideas to engage with. It feels like they were just straight up making up something that they did not listen to. So that ain't it. No, it's not that deep actually, but it is male centered actually, and that's deep. Like it's not that deep. Hello, welcome. You said you agree with voice memo guy and you think we're being too harsh on him.
Who said that? You said we could just come up and chat.
Oh, well, good evening. You got 30 seconds. Go, fire off.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
13, 7.
I agree
3.
with your point. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of back to basics in that you can't even really like hold their argument down because it's just like a lot. Like, it's a lot wrong at the same time. Like, even that one chick you played where she was like, oh, you know, right, but also not right. Like, she was like playing both sides of the fence. And it was like, babe, are you afraid of like your opinion? Do you realize that your opinion is incorrect? And so you're trying to walk it back because you know you're going to get dragged in the comments. Like, what's happening? But I did see like another content creator who was like, oh, I'm with the guy. I agree with the guy. And I was like, what the hell? But yeah, anyway, but I guess because they're non-binary. But anyway, so the comment section, one comment that stuck out to me was like, oh, you know, I want you to be honest and real. And then it was like, wait, no, not like that. And it's like, well, yeah, like there are parameters to being honest. Like, yeah, you can be honest, but you also have to demonstrate basic human decency. Like, yeah.
Sorry, you can continue.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you have to demonstrate basic human decency for that honesty to be acceptable. Like saying, oh, I don't see the point of us hanging out or seeing each other if I can't have sex with you is nasty. Like, it's very gross. It's very dehumanizing. And imagine that being on the receiving end of that as like there were essay survivors that were triggered by the premise, yet essay survivors were also like charmed and found it refreshing. Nasty work.
I think what you just described is about common decency specifically, and tact, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a conversation around tact and charisma, and even if someone were wanting to have sex, for example, but his specific approach like turned them off of it, for some reason people were equating like that common decency and basic level of respect for your fellow human, as well as tact and charisma when it comes to dating and expressing your sexual interest and just like building a relationship with someone. For some reason, people are equating that tact and charisma and decency with lying and manipulation. I'm not sure if I think we maybe read a comment or two, but like something like, what are your sexual interests? What are you into? Do you have any kinks or fetishes that fall outside of what people consider conventional? Do you have any reservations about having sex? How has overturning Roe v. Wade affected your views on sex, or has it had an effect at all? Mm-hmm. Is it something you even think about when you're considering sex with a person? Are there things that normal people consider a normal part of sex that you're not into? Like choking, for example, is really normalized in hetero relationship, or slapping, or usually other display of violence towards women in particular. Is there anything else that people tend to consider like just an expected part of sex that you find to be off-putting? Like I can think of, these are like some of what I feel like are a million ways that you can be upfront about sexual interest in someone without telling someone, hey, actually, I know you already declined to have sex, but you're kind of a waste of my time, and I don't want to come over to your house unless you give me confirmation in advance that you're down to let me use your body for my pleasure, for my sake. So, outside of that, we've been on one date. So I don't feel like continuing to entertain, like, I don't know, your humanity or whatever. If I don't get some P word first. So like putting my wee right inside of you is actually
more important.
Really important to me to make sure we're compatible. Like it's really important that we do that just as early as possible for that compatibility. And like the serious relationship and stuff, that will come right after, right? It'll come right after that. But that's just like a really important to me. So yeah, no pressure, but your deadline is to let me know if this is a waste of my time is approaching this Thursday. So let me know if I need to go find some new P word somewhere else. Yeah, like
basically it's incredibly frustrating. Like how do I say it? Like he put his decision making in the sense of like where the relationship goes or like whether they continue in her hands, but only on the condition that she says yes to sexual intimacy or like agrees to it on a voice note prior to the date. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, he didn't even sound he sounded very disinterested when he was like listing off the things that he enjoyed about the day. Oh, I had a great time, I think you're a lovely person. Nothing like necessarily specific about her that that he liked during the any of the dates. It's obvious that he wasn't paying attention to anything but looking for an opportunity to score. Oh, hey, Miss Good Puss.
Oh, now hold up. Now you gonna have no, it's fine. I was going to eventually put up Cat Black because I forgot I would show you guys at the end that the voice memo was actually like some pickup artist line. So I don't want to skip that. Miss Good P Word, I will let you go first before I play that.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, this is a very interesting conversation. And you can go ahead and play what you were going to play.
Okay. Cat Black also mentioned before I play her other TikTok, I don't have this one on me right now, but I'll look for it, that when he's mentioning coming over, she was doing like a whole breakdown, but like drinking some wine and effing or something like that. She was calling this out as like something that guys do, like trying to get girls drunk or tipsy so that they're more likely to sleep with them. Like going on a first date, for example, to the club or a bar or somewhere where the focus tends to be drinks. And I did want to do more on that earlier. Like because of his own admission, like this is the first day, like a 2-hour dinner or so, and he asked for sex. She declines. I believe it was again declined. What it was not ambiguous. I believe that is, if it's unclear, requires clarity, it's a decline. If they respond, I don't know. That's a decline. So anyway, the idea of circumventing that decline, which we've talked about, but also adding drinks into the mix. Maybe I'm like reading into it too much, but like you're already searching for a yes after a no, a reluctant, hesitant yes. But now like let's add drinks to the mix to make you a little more suggestible. Feels like feels icky to me, but
no, I see that perspective 100%. That makes perfect sense. I don't think you're reaching there. And then I would add, I mean, this may be a reach, but even with the cuddling also, it's like, oh, we can cuddle, but it's like, what do you like? How can I, if we cuddle, how can I be certain that, things won't get grazed upon and be like, oh, well, I'm so sorry, that kind of thing, where it's like, again, like you said, like trying to make her more pliant or more like suggestible, like you said, to bend to his will, so to speak.
I think that I agree with everything that the both of you just said, and I also feel like, for instance, if you look at I don't know if you did because I was out. I started when you started the live stream, and then I had to go to the store, and I came back. So I don't know if you played like other clips of the other women who had like the alt look to them, who had similar things to say as the first woman. But I think that it stands out to me how it's clear that that lady didn't have those same kind of attitudes. So she probably was more of a straight-laced type of a woman. And I feel like, or it's been sitting on my mind, that if he had such laissez-faire ideas around sexuality and casual sex and all that, like why didn't he go for someone who had closer to his beliefs around getting busy so quickly, maybe like one of those types of women. And so I feel like he's one of those kind of guys that prefers a more straight-laced woman because he would have to convince her. I think it's part of the experience of feeling like, oh, I'm with a girl who has some kind of desire for me that I can leverage to keep her on the hook. Because if you get with somebody that's just like, look, we're just doing what we do, we're going to have a little fun, and then maybe we go our separate ways, that's not the same thing as having someone who's kind of always want to have one foot in the door, looking for more from you, hoping for more from you that you could leverage to get more and more of what you want from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like he was looking for someone that he could like coax out their drawers, basically, as opposed to someone who was more willing to engage in the, at the speed at which he was more comfortable.
Yeah, because so many of those women, there was a little kerfuffle happening over on TikTok where this account called, I think her name was Corby Forever or something, had made a picture with 4 girls. They all had baby bangs. They all had that alternative look, and they all had the same take of basically like, why are you guys tripping over this guy's voice note? This is consent, so forth and so on. Why are you putting me in the talk?
Oh, I didn't know it was gonna do that. I was trying to snoop because I was like, is this level up single mom?
I was waiting to see when you were gonna pick it up. Yeah, I'm just funning with y'all. How you doing?
Hey, I knew it was you.
Not embarrassing. Like I tried to take a screenshot and it showed them. Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, that
was didn't mean to interrupt. Please.
Oh, yeah. She put that up, and she was speaking about how men will utilize. Have you ever heard of septum ring theory?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So she didn't mention it, but she was talking about it generally, like what it is, the ideology of thinking that women who are alternative
look a certain way and don't fit into the norm.
Yeah,
the conventional. I forgot what the take was, but I just saw it today. I wish I had committed it to memory. Let us know.
I saw it years ago, but they talk about it. I picked it up from like Twitter years ago. But basically, like alternative girls and girls that are outside of the regular norms, they're more adventurous in bed, and they're easier to just, how they use the term pumping up or whatever, or they're more fun because they'll go crazy and do all types of wild things or whatever. So they're better to you. So I'm saying that. Oh, what you gonna say?
What I heard was something more like they're seeking to prey. If you view this as predation, they're seeking to prey on the vulnerable. So when people do like the septum ring theory and the armpit hair or the blue hair or the I guess the bangs now, they're looking for people who fall outside of conventional beauty norm, who they believe will be more like cast out or vulnerable or lower caste or whatever, and they see them as easier prey or something like that.
Yeah, all of it. It's all of it. They're easier prey. They have lower inhibitions. They're more sexually adventurous, and or you can get them to do more in bed. And the sad part about it was, because the TikTok, she was just talking about the ideology generally. She didn't mention that it had an actual name to it. And then when her comments, I said, yeah, you should see how they talk about women who have septum rings and like colored hair and stuff. And so then people were coming under my comment was like, I didn't know about this. And then other people were coming in and like, yeah, it's called septum ring thing. So it was a real nice, environment where women were being informed, and they were kind of like saying, oh, I experienced this or that. I didn't know what that was, or I wasn't aware of that, or, whatever. And then there was this one woman that came in was like, only one of them even has a septum ring. And I feel like those women that were, talking like that about the voice note, and then that woman that came into that comment section, I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's sad and scary to reckon with the idea that people are preying on you like that. You know what I mean? It's more comfortable psychologically to think, oh no, we're just doing, whatever. And I'm saying this as someone who, when I was younger, I wouldn't necessarily call myself alt, but I definitely was just kind of like, oh, everybody is just living their own life. And, whatever you say, we're all living for the first time or whatever. And then once I learned how men thought about different groups of women and categorized different groups of women, then I was able to kind of go, oh, okay, that's why this happened. That's why that happened. But there was a point in time where it's angering, and you'll see a lot of time when they have panels and stuff, and the men will say something straight out of their mouths about how they think about a woman or this and that and the other. And the woman will sit there and argue with them instead of just accepting that that is their reality. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like women just can't accept that that is what they're grappling with, because they don't want to give up what they would probably give up if they just accepted that, oh, these men think about us this way.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, I hear it 100%. Yeah, because it does sound like a lot of copium on the parts of the people who like agree with the voicemail guy, at least like the women. I feel like the men.
Would you like to watch that, or would you like to do a joint stream on that? Because I was watching it and I was getting so pissed off.
I think we should pregame it in the Discord and do the 5-minute rule.
What's the 5-minute rule?
Yeah,
we gotta see if the first 5 minutes good, and if it is, then we don't watch the rest and we just do it on the stream.
Okay, but I can tell you, there's plenty. You're going to be like, what? Because I watched like most of it, and then I was like, they're pissing me off. I gotta go.
Yeah, I wanted to jump through the screen for like in every instance, because it was just like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that what you linked in the Discord today?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I forget what I sent you. It was something. Oh, and there was another thing too. This guy was on, it was a Jubilee thing, and it was one guy against 20 red pillars or something. I saw that too. That was
yeah. Okay. And another thing. Okay, so we'll have to put that in the Discord so I can take a peek. Other than that, however, oh no.
I could jump down now because I'm like doing more than one thing. But I just wanted to come and say hi, guys.
Yeah, hey. Thanks for coming through. You always drop. Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure for you too. This feels like home. It feels nostalgic.
Oh yeah, facts though.
Yep, just like the old days. Me, Miss Goodpuss, Mira Sparkles, and Cat Black. Just the four of us. All right, now let's see. I'm gonna have to speed this up though.
All right, real quick, you guys. I need everyone having the discourse around the voice memo guy to pause the conversation and go watch this video. This is an episode of the Brooke and Jeff.
Now that's dirty. Now you're gonna make me go and you're gonna make me go and watch it. Hold up. If I had known, second date, Brooke and Jeffrey. Maybe it's on TikTok and somebody already did the work. Because maybe this is it.
Anybody expected to hear from these two again? Well, Paul and Sarah are both back on the show. Wow. And last time,
No, I don't think that's it. While I find that, we'll just listen.
Free show. It is a radio show where a very similar story is told, where a woman goes on a date and a guy leaves her a voice memo after the date. If you listen to this voice memo, you are going to hear that it is essentially the same exact script. Two different men using the same exact script. They mention the words romantic spark. He says, for my sake. It's said in the same exact sequence. I'm working on a video right now for my YouTube channel about this, where I'm going to go into detail about this. But I want it for you guys to know that it's very likely that this guy is just reading a script, and everyone's having this debate about whether or not she agreed to go on a second date and why the second date would be at her house. Well, both of these scripts, both these different men who left these voice memos, leave a voice memo that seems to suggest that they're going to have a second date at her place. So we don't even really know if they actually agreed to do that. It seems like that's like part of the script. So if we're piecing things together, I do think this is like very important context, very important information. So yeah, go check that out. All right, real quick, you guys, I need everyone having.
I found it, but I don't know how to get to.
Oh, the voice note is at the 11:40 mark, I believe.
Now you know.
Huh? Because I checked.
Where?
I looked up the video.
Let me download it before something weird happens to it. The 11-minute.
Like 11 minutes and like around 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay, so here's the voice memo.
I do, but he actually sent it. We were texting on WhatsApp.
Oh,
okay.
On WhatsApp, can you play the note while you're on the phone at the same time?
Yeah. Oh, you can?
Can we do that?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you can play it. Okay, I can play if you guys are ready.
Yeah, play it. Yeah, I want to hear the voice note that turns you off.
Okay, here it is. Listen.
Hey, it's Corey. Listen, I just wanted to send you a voice note because it's a little easier. If we're thinking about going over to your place next weekend, and I'm totally open to that, but I am craving that physical intimacy to see if we're compatible in that way. So I'd be hoping to to see if there's that romantic spark there, just for my own personal sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone without knowing if we're compatible in that type of way. And so up to you. If you do want me to come over though and have some wine and get down, then sweet, let's do it.
What? Is that it?
Yeah.
Sorry, you said
Bar for bar, but I didn't know it would actually be bar for bar though. But I didn't know it would be bar for bar. So while I'm up here making a 3.5, nearly 4-hour live stream about men's dating strategy and how they lie, manipulate, and even the voice memo we listened to was not in fact blunt and up and straight up, and it was using coded language to try to get in somebody's pants without seeming like that, and blah 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 blah. Here we got, where's she at? Where's Bangs? Okay, I don't have any of their videos up. So just imagine the lady with the bangs is on the screen. Here we got Bangs letting us know that y'all are actually silly if you think this is anything other than a masterclass in consent. And we got men going to the manosphere using a voice memo template to get sex from women. And we have someone lecturing on consent. We have someone lecturing us on consent and on straightforwardness and honesty, and what a great, admirable guy this is for using a red pill script to get sex from women or tell them they ain't worth the time. Got it. Well,
Damn, talk about copium, man. That's crazy. At least like on the part of the people that agree. It's like, we told you it was coercive. We told you it was manipulative, and here it is.
Any last words?
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest.
Come on, get us out of here. You gotta say
All
something.
right. I got it. See, listen to Black women the first time. But no, but seriously, yeah, see, you have to really, it's why it's important to really pay attention to not to look past what am I trying to say? Yeah, not to, give people the benefit of the doubt without any further context. Without any context, this person, they said this guy was autistic, potentially autistic, or just a fumbling idiot, or just, oh wow, he doesn't have a way with words. Yet he doesn't have a way with words. He doesn't they acknowledge that the message is, curt and blunt, but there still needed to be an opportunity for him to be treated with respect, even though he didn't show that in kind. So there's that. That's it.
I don't even believe it's about the benefit of the doubt. They are creating an entirely different reality. This is way beyond anything that I could ever imagine that I would ever consider the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't even say don't give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't, though. Particularly heterosexual people dating, I don't believe y'all should. Women in particular. But even if you were giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, it ain't enough benefit. It ain't enough benefit in the world for this. I believe. Now, to get us out of here, thank you, by the way, for joining. And you as well, Level Up Single Mom. And thank you, production, for the super chats as well. I do appreciate that. And Villainous for the gems. Don't know what they are, but I'm going to assume that is $350. And K Mary for the gems that I'm going to assume is $30. And Baby Fairy for $1.99. Thank you all. So let's end on a joke. No Instagram memes today, just a joke. So it's good that you stayed up, actually. What did Tarzan say when he saw the elephants coming over the hill?
What did Tarzan? I don't know. What did he say?
Here come the elephants over the hill. What did Tarzan say when he saw the elephants coming over the hill with sunglasses?
Look at the elephants over the hill with sunglasses?
No, he didn't say anything. He didn't recognize them.
Got it. Period. 8 down. 8 down. Great job. Did you make that one up?
No. I think a lot of these are from boot camps, and I just haven't come up with any since then. Once these run out, that's it.
Oh, damn. Well,
let me see. I mean, I have some.
How are you guys?
Good.
I can't hear you recording in the store, okay?
Oh, do you work here?
I do.
Oh, really? Are you guys secret shoppers?
We work for the security team.
Oh, so you're secret
So I
security.
need you to stop recording.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You black people need to get the hell out of here. You've been fucking recording me, and I'm not joking. I'm not kidding.
Whoa.
They have been recording me around the store. Get them the hell out of here now.
Whoa, you didn't have to resort to racism.
I don't care.
Is he with you guys?
I am with them.
No. You're not with us.
I am.
You guys
Walmart LTD.
If you guys
can leave. You guys can leave.
wait a minute. Wait. Damn. He just hopped up and he was like, time for racism.
This is what Instagram has decided I find funny, so
wow.
That was our meme for the day. Oh wait, we have this one.
Me not getting the proper love from my entire family made me seek love from niggas. You know what I'm saying? Me not getting the proper love from my entire family made me seek love from niggas. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
All right, babe.
Okay, that's the only two we got.
Okay.
This is it ain't the reason we don't have memes right now is because ain't shit funny right now. Ain't shit funny in this administration.
No, not at all.
I just scraped by them with them two.
Yeah.
I just barely got them two.
Up until up until today, we couldn't even go outside without a mask because that's some bull.
The whole outside was smoking for like the last,
Yes.
I don't know, a week or something. Nah, it's not okay. Like I could walk outside and breathe in smoke. This is not okay.
From a different country, no less.
That's completely inappropriate in my opinion. And that smoke has no business being down here this far without dissipating in the air or going up to the atmosphere or something.
Right.
I don't have the scientific background to understand why this is happening, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is like completely inappropriate and not scientific. So that's what I'll say. Thank you all for joining. I do appreciate you for coming up.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna hop down. Bye, y'all.
Bye. And I will go ahead and get you guys out of here with some 8 p.m. So have a good night. Like on your way out, please. Subscribe if you're not already. Oh, wait, did we subscriber shame though? One second. Because last time they didn't show me what percent of y'all watching are subscribed. Okay, they're not showing me. They're not showing me. So y'all got away this time. Y'all got away this time. But understand once I find out how many of y'all are watching but not subscribed, it's on. Okay, with that said, good night, guys.
I couldn't sleep at 8 p.m. and send a text to your DM.